I thought someone was messing me up with audio. That was just my own computer. Hi, everybody, and welcome to episode 385 of Pixels and Ink, the official podcast of CG Magazine, where we take a critical eye to gaming, comics, tech, and media. I'm your host today, Chris DeHoog, and I'm joined by our editor-in-chief, Brendan Fry,
Hello there, Chris.
Dana
How are you?
Eileen,
Hey, what's up?
and Jordan Biordi.
That's me.
How are we all doing today?
Good. I'm poking Brendan and Jordan at the same time. This is fun for me. I'm
That's what?
Oh,
Oh,
that
I
game, Dana.
took me a second because your finger was blocking Brendan.
sorry. Sorry.
Now I get it.
Sorry. I was poking him.
Now
out.
I get it. This is unusual. It's gonna take some
Everything's
getting used to.
weird.
That seems to be the running theme for the past couple of years. Anyways, yeah, let's get right into it. And unfortunately, our top story this week is not necessarily a really positive one, but it is something that might stir a little bit of hope and hopefully bring about some positive change. We're seeing the gaming industry respond to the ongoing crisis in Ukraine. And like I'm blanking on the right word to call it. There's a few things that come to mind, but we'll go with crisis.
Conflict, war,
Invasion. Yeah.
atrocity.
General dickishry.
War crimes, take your pick. So yeah, there's been a few initiatives going around the industry, people responding to it, trying to promote some positive change and get some support to the people who need it in Ukraine. I'm trying to stop myself from saying that. I'm not sure where I picked up that habit. So 11-bit Studios, itself a Ukrainian studio, put their game
Polish
on
studio.
sale. Sorry?
11-bit is a Polish studio.
Polish dude. Oh, okay. I thought they were actually Ukrainian. Well, they put their game, This War of Mine, which is very closely related to the topics at hand in Ukraine, on sale for I believe it was about $6 on Steam, with all proceeds going towards humanitarian efforts and the Red Cross to get some assistance where it's needed there. That was kind of the big thing. There's a couple other calls to like today, CD Projekt Red was asking the partners in the gaming industry to kind of cut off Russian customers from their services, things like that. Did anyone else pick up This War of Mine on Steam? I didn't already own it, so I grabbed it.
Get again.
No, I just because I have it
Feel
on.
called out, Chris.
I know, I'm putting on the spot.
Well, no, because I had it
I
on
will after
PlayStation,
this.
so I was kind of like, I was like, I mean,
I'll just donate money. And then I can just.
There's also that.
Listen, I'm broke.
There's
I can't be supporting no
There.
causes.
There you go.
Unfortunately,
Yeah, no, there's a lot of stuff going on though. We just did a story today about a YouTuber. I'm gonna totally say his name wrong. It's Kriparian, I believe. He is a direct friend of a friend, but he's a pretty big streamer on Twitch. He's in the top 50, and he is doing a stream at 10 tonight, and all of his proceeds will be going to Ukraine.
So if you all flock away from us in 45 minutes, we'll understand.
I also do want to point. I do want to make a note of
Don't
just
touch
the
those.
studios, like the ones that are Ukrainian, that are trying to fight through this stuff. You have like Frogwares, which is a Ukrainian-based studio, and they are currently like releasing games and releasing patches during a conflict, and that's just impressive.
Yeah, because wasn't
Yeah, SH Devil's Daughter Redux for Xbox One.
Yeah, that released today, and they are based in the Ukraine, so that's pretty impressive. We also have a studio behind Stalker. They're basically saying they're gonna. This is gonna really delay their game. It's indefinitely delayed until the conflict's kind of over.
Which is again beyond fair.
Okay.
I don't know how you could finish and deliver on time with that. Everything else going on, just seeing
For
a
sure.
scrap of what's going on there. It's
Yeah. So it's a mess right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, 'cause
and I know
didn't,
like TV studios are doing the same thing, trying to demand that, everything that is going on over there stops. Like don't promote movies over there, don't send your movies over there, don't do any of it. Yeah.
Well, how many studios have like kind of pulled support, right? I know Disney basically like pulled a bunch of support from, or they pulled a couple movies from
I think they
having
just
like
said
Russian
no movie will be
releases.
going to Russia right now until
Mhm.
this conflict's over.
Didn't like Netflix also like cancel
I
like
don't-
their like service
Yeah, I
in
saw they're
Russia?
not doing anything new over there. I didn't see
Yeah.
that part, but I saw they're not gonna like start anything going on over there.
Mhm.
So there's that.
It's kind of an interesting thing to watch. You know, we haven't really had a conflict of quite this scale or this kind of combination of opposition, like you
hits
know, aside from like the
different.
Iraqi wars. Yeah, it's different now, like in
But
the
it
internet
hits
age. Like
different.
this is how we do things. This is our Cold War essentially. Like
Mhm.
Yeah.
you know, we're cutting off content and certain services, you know, to the people
Yeah.
of the invading company or country. It's kind of a weird thing to watch in real time.
Yeah, like even watching the four of us here, like the way we're reacting, it's just different when
Yeah.
we're talking about anything else. But I was saying that everything going on there, it has hit me differently than anything that happened in Afghanistan or Iraq. I don't know if it's because I'm older now or because I'm a mother now, but like it just shakes me. And to see the gaming community and just the industry as a whole step up and like find ways to do things
Mhm.
that might
Yeah.
actually make an impact is cool. I dig it.
It's
think
something to
it's-
be said with like with the opposition that there is, right? Like I think it's different for this one, just because of who's involved. You know, we were more of allies to America when they were going to the Middle East. Like
Mhm.
I was, you know, like I think all of us here were basically teenagers during 9/11, so that we had a different perspective to that. But like, you know, that was an allied country of ours going and doing a thing. Now
Mhm.
we're sitting on like the opposite side of this, going like, okay, no, this is a totally different perspective on it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Well, I think it's different too because yeah, like you know, number one, I think we were all a lot younger then and a lot more like easily led to believe some of like the you know
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
not just like the actual like like reasons for why America went to war with Afghanistan, but like a lot of the conspiracy that was behind it too.
Mhm.
Plus, you know, I think also back then we were a lot more ignorant, so you know, kind of like the racism angle played a lot easier over here.
Probably.
Because I mean, I remember there were like no shortage, and like I'm a shitty person, I'll admit it. Like no shortage of like you know like bad faith, you know, kill Osama or kill like the Afghan games on Newgrounds, and we ate that shit up like it was nothing. So like it definitely framed our perspective of what was going on there differently. Now I think we're a lot older and a lot more like better educated and more mature. So to see a country that is essentially just like a totalitarian dictatorship just for no good reason invading another country and just like forcing them into a crisis, like it's totally different now. Like we're a lot more sympathetic to it than I think
And we
than anything
see
else.
more. Like we had technology and all that. I was in grade
Mhm.
7 when 9/11 hit,
Yeah.
and like I can remember them wheeling the TV in and us watching it there.
Oh my god, Dana, did we go to the same school? That exact same thing happened to me.
Exactly.
That's
right?
weird.
We're the same age. That's crazy.
I was
1988.
I was in grade 9, and there was a kid in my class whose mom was
You're
supposed to be on a
older than
plane.
me?
Yeah, I'm born in
I thought you were
87.
younger than me.
No,
89, baby.
no, 87.
Weird. Weird.
Yeah, so there was a kid whose mom was supposed to be on a plane flying to or over New York or something,
Mm.
and all day long he was paranoid because he heard something was wrong. So I just thought it was this localized thing, and then we got sent home with like a letter at the end of the day telling what had happened. Like they kept us quiet until the end of the day
Yeah.
about it. So yeah, no, just
That's
a weird.
crazy.
Everything hits a bit differently.
It does, but like
Yeah.
just
These things.
the way that things have changed though, like just the way technology has changed and how like we can know what's going on in real time. Like Sean Penn was there doing a documentary about this and walked miles and miles to the Polish border to get out of Ukraine while
That's
they were
crazy.
being bombed. Like he was posting pictures and stuff of the cars lined up, and that's not stuff that we would have seen like in real time when
Mhm.
all this other stuff happened, you know.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, the other thing that's interesting too is the president of Ukraine. Apologies, I'm going to butcher the name. Um, Volodymyr Zelensky. There we go. I think I did an okay job there. I've seen him on like the Daily Show. Like he's like the Jon Stewart has had him on his programs before. He used to be like a stand-up comedian, and
Mhm.
Yep.
just wild to think about the
Mhm.
different perspective he's got on all of this too. It's yeah.
He was
Well,
an outsider. He wasn't
it's
really doing this to what's the word I'm looking for? He wasn't really doing this just to kind of be rich or whatever. He was doing this because he actually did believe in Ukraine,
Mhm.
and now he's kind of have to prove himself, but he's managed to do it.
Oh yeah, no, he's been proving himself like above and beyond. You know.
Now, I just posted on the stream a second ago. Matt was saying well done to Brendan. He wrote the article that kind of summed up everything that the industry is doing as a whole right now. Earlier today, good job, Brendan.
Yeah.
I think thank you was what you were looking for, or to touch on the article at all. But let's end it with an That's
Okay,
good for
Yeah.
The
podcast.
article, I basically just kind of talked about the stream that would be going on today, and I also kind of tied together all the big studios and all the big everyone doing something for the conflict and all the people that are doing to try to help support the people that are on the ground. So I had quotes from everyone, even including quotes from like the Pokemon Company UK, Crytek, Bungie, Ubisoft, the GSC Game World, which do Stalker, World of Tank, Wargaming, 11-bit, CD Projekt, so everyone. Along with this person that Dayna said it better than I could.
I think it's Kriparian.
That's
Forgive us if we're crushing it, because I know that you know them, but I'm doing my best here.
And also that stream that is going on right now, he has a Steam Labs charity platform link that if you go to it, and they will Streamlabs will match up to 100K for the donations.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. Stuff like that. Yeah. And Pokemon Company, when they were tweeting about it earlier, said they were donating $200,000 US to global giving. So yeah, once again, there's the industry stepping up for that. Yeah, don't want to dwell too long on this because it's not really a arena that we normally talk about.
Let's get back to the important matters, okay? Video games.
Yeah, well, it's what
right?
things we're qualified to talk about. But if you are interested in giving towards the cause, to try to support how you can check out that stream happening in about half an hour. Check with your local Ukrainian societies if you have one in your town. I know there's one in my town, and they are organizing to send materials over there, like medical products, feminine hygiene products, anything like that that people will need in times of crunch.
We actually have a Ukrainian Catholic church up the street, and it's been here my whole life. I believe that my family has been to a funeral once there. Like, I've never seen anyone in that church, and the other day I was driving home from here because I have to drive past it, and it was packed. There were people everywhere. There were people up and down the streets with flags and signs, and so the community's really come together, and I'm sure that your local church or whatever will help you out if you're trying to figure it out.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, we'll leave that there and move on to gaming news. Mentioned the Pokemon Company earlier, and they made an announcement on Sunday that they kind of kept muted, actually, because of everything going on. They felt it wasn't appropriate to be too loud and out about it.
Time to jump into that stuff.
Yeah, they had the stuff scheduled, and all of a sudden, like, oh, is this really the right time? So they kind of quietly put it out there. But yeah, the Pokemon Company announced the next generation of Pokemon games is coming later this year with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, which was a big surprise. I did not have that on my bingo card for that presentation.
So give me the rundown, because I'm apparently bad at my job. Let me know what this is, what kind of game it is. Talk to me like I am your audience.
Well, again, they didn't say a whole lot because of everything going on. They showed a trailer which was half live action, which is kind of weird, like security guard running around for some reason. Yeah, people are kind of picking it apart for science, but yeah, it seems to be based on the footage they showed, like a new main series Pokemon game that builds off of Legends Arceus.
Yeah, that's kind of what it looks like.
So it's going to be open world again, or it's going to be
like semi-open world?
I
think people are sort of speculating that it's just because, like Chris said, the way that it looks, they didn't really show any gameplay, but like what they showed seems to suggest that it is going to have a more open feel. And I think a lot of people are speculating too that based on like how quickly this came out after Arceus, that we're probably working on them in tandem. So like they kind of like used Arceus as like a testing ground for the gameplay, and this will be the more like traditional, like you go to gyms and there might be like probably like multiplayer and stuff.
Okay.
So that's it. A lot of people are speculating that it looks to be based, like the new continent or region looks to be based in like Spain.
Yeah. I have a friend who lives in Spain, and he was just going off the wall with all the stuff he recognized in it. Yeah, I think it's very clearly a Spanish-based game.
People were because people were kind of clocking the new fire starter, and if you check the Slack, I
saw the
them
little
there.
dudes. I love them.
So yeah,
They're adorable.
so a lot of people are saying like you guys aren't paying, like they were clocking the fire starter, but people were kind of saying if you guys were paying attention, he looks like a hot pepper, like thus further kind of like backing the idea that it's set in like a sort of like Latino based like area. And I mean, he's just. I think. I mean, it's not.
To be fair, I made Mexican
ignorant.
food tonight, and it was spicy. This is all I've got.
That's. I don't think that helps.
This isn't me. This is just people on
I
Twitter.
can't say, hey, it was sent to me. I didn't make up the recipe. Okay, that's not my
The
fault.
duck has
Well,
a nice
more on that later.
coiffed hair, you know.
Foreshadowing.
So yeah, I don't know. It looks neat. You know, I sort of echo other people's sentiment that it's kind of like it's like fun that Nintendo went back, or Pokemon Company like went back to like color names, because we haven't had one since Black and White, and yeah, I mean, I was a little. Part of me was a little like, you know, oh, I thought they learned something from Arceus, but they're still doing the whole like 2-game conceit, which is kind of like, maybe we need to move past it.
Yeah,
Pokemon sort of evolved in a lot of ways.
Chris, that was like a sad little. No, give me more. I want 4.
No, every person should
surprised.
want to buy 2 Pokemon games, of course. Why wouldn't
I'm not
you?
surprised they stick to it. No, it's
no, I'm not either. But like, they need to move away from it, is what I'm saying. It needs to be done with.
Yeah.
Just put all the Pokemon in one game and let people trade amongst themselves.
or do it properly, like they didn't do with Diamond and Pearl remakes. Like those are the same ROM. There's a switch. Like that's it.
That is ridiculous.
Pokemon question for my Pokemon masters here. Wow, I just said that out loud.
Okay, bring it on.
In the last little while, I found that like quite a few Pokemon games have come out like since I've been here at CGM. So that's the Diamond and Pearl and all that jazz. Then the Arceus, and now they're announcing this one. There's been a
And you were here
bunch
for
of
Snap
heads
too,
to
actually. Yeah.
Yes, actually,
Snap,
that was toward the beginning. So is Pokemon, is that normal for a franchise? Do we post that many games in English?
You know, I think it has been. We just haven't paid as much attention to it because, for the most part, like speaking for myself, like, you know, when I was like a youngish person, I only really paid attention to the mainline Pokemon games, but like Pokemon Rangers was happening, and there was the
Pokemon Dungeon.
Yeah, Mystery Dungeon was coming out, so there were like a lot of Pokemon spin-offs that we just sort of like weren't really paying attention to. And that
actually exists, I think, actually.
Pokeclue.
Is there Pokemon Monopoly?
They have.
There has
Pokemon
to be. There's an Animal Crossing.
Oh my god, I want to collect all the Monopoly games. There's a St. Catherine's Opoly.
Is
where
it really?
CGM is located. Yes, you can only buy it here. I'm assuming.
Is CGM on the spot?
Yes.
The luxury tax. Yeah, that's what it is.
Swear.
Yeah. Ow, I'm fidgety. Oh,
so yeah,
I just kicked everything.
But yeah, like there's been normally like one main series game almost each year. They sometimes take a year off.
But I've been here for a year, and that's
that's main series. That's main series, and then they do like other ones besides that.
I mean, on the Switch alone, we got like the Let's Go series. We got Sword and Shield, Snap, Arceus. Yeah, the Diamond Pearl. Didn't they also like joint release Pokemon Cafe and Pokemon Unite on the Switch.
Yeah, they're both on there.
They brought Pokken Tournament over to
Hey,
the
guys.
Switch.
The Switch is a busy system.
It
It
is.
is a pretty
Anybody?
busy system.
Nobody? Okay.
That would was that a segue?
Nobody got
She was
that.
She was trying to
trying.
switch us to our next topic, I think.
I was just trying. It seemed really good.
Was there a pun
was
in
good.
there
That was
that I
good.
wasn't paying attention to?
Drink my coffee here. Although Brendan drinks Sunny D
Yeah, it's
because he
ridiculous.
is 6.
Oh, Sunny D, all right.
Not that purple thing.
He's got pink Sunny D in the other room.
That purple stuff.
I got my grown-up coffee.
I thought that, but I wasn't gonna say it.
Sorry, I just slipped out. That's a good
Anyways,
bit.
yeah, no, they definitely picked up steam on Switch the past couple of years. I think they're just spawned some blood in the water. I don't know.
And you know, also let's not shy away from toxic Pokemon fans who immediately were upset about this too when I hopped on Twitter for the first 5 seconds after this was announced, and they were very upset about the pixel amount on a tree. Let me tell you.
Yeah, well,
That sounds like a person on the internet.
Did you?
Can we start a segment on here that's just like, what are we mad about today? What are gamers?
Jordan's troll check.
Jordan's
I mean-
shitty Nintendo fan corner.
Yeah, I mean,
No,
I bet you our Xbox fans are just as mad about something.
Oh, they definitely
It kind of reminded me of this someone that was like responding to this tweet about someone who was like complaining about Elden Ring, and he was saying like,
Okay.
here's the way to fix Elden Ring, put it in Unreal Engine, add a mini map and a quest log, all that stuff, and this person was like, here's my way to fix Elden Ring, put it in Unreal Engine and ruin it.
Yeah, there's a
Like,
real tendency in like these days of people wanting to fix games all the time. Like
Mhm.
it's all this the Final Fantasy Pixel remasters. Like I just keep thinking, I keep seeing people go, "Oh, the font is so ugly. The font is so ugly." There's like fixes instantly out for each of these games, fixing the font. And it was only recently, so 6 months or so after the whole thing was announced and started coming out, that someone pointed out that the font is a little hard to read for some people. So it's like accessibility thing. But 99% of it is being people just being like, "Oh, ugly font. I fix." Like, yeah. No,
well,
it's
Chris,
just-
didn't you know that everyone on Twitter is a game developer and they should be hired by all these companies to fix the games that they do not know how to develop?
The point is everyone on the internet knows better than everyone else on the internet.
Yeah.
So
The hardworking, talented people who make the games that you are definitely going to go out and buy day one.
it doesn't matter what topic it is. There's always someone who knows better than the people who are behind it.
Yeah.
But anyways, to build off of Dana's earlier
Anyway, the
segue,
Switch is a
which
busy
was
console
brilliant.
this year.
Switch is a busy console.
Hey guys, the Switch has been really busy lately, don't you think?
Tell us about that,
There you go.
Dana.
Let's-
No, why don't you tell us about that, Chris or Jordan, or
Let's
not me?
switch. Let's switch over and talk about the fact that today, I was gonna say, I remember the presentations at the start of the Switch's lifetime when they did that all the
there
time,
was
like the fancy,
the snap.
fancy things. They were so behind that, and they just kind of dropped that like a bad habit. Why? It's the
His
best.
fingers hurt from doing it all the time.
I still picture
Time.
Koizumi doing that every time I hear a snap in a trailer.
It's
it's
I gotta
progressive.
do it all the time. These hurt.
You know how many times we segue in a Nintendo Direct? It's killing my
I like
fingers.
it. I like
Switch
it.
turned 5 today.
Yeah.
As did Breath of the Wild, and presumably some other Switch titles or like launch titles.
I mean, yeah,
Some
Odyssey,
other
Splatoon 2,
So,
Xenoblade. I mean, what came out that? A lot of stuff came out that year.
that year, yeah.
It was a dynamite year.
Because I missed the launch myself. I bought Breath of the Wild on Wii U the day it came out
Yeah.
and played it
I-
there
I-
for a bit.
I know for certain that, yeah, Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey, Splatoon 2, Xenoblade 2,
Mhm.
those were all out that year. If there were more, I know because Nintendo was pretty much pumping out one solid like first party release every month.
Oh, you forgot about 1-2 Switch.
1-2 Switch,
Well,
sure.
that was the game. That
There's a
exists.
How could
song.
you?
That was a demo.
There's a song about
Arms came out too.
Oh yeah,
Arms was cool.
How is
Arms
that
was
still
cool.
played by anyone?
My
you know,
nephew loved it. I just messed up my chair. You guys are gonna hear some noise. Sorry.
I hopped
Okay, we get to
into it.
watch in real time as you fix your
can't
chair.
I struggle. Sorry, there's like a 4-click system.
There's 2 angles to it as well, which
There
is
we
nice.
go. I'm not
I-
as pretty from this angle. Okay,
Oh,
we're good.
Dana, you're always pretty.
Oh, thanks.
Oh,
Stop
stop.
it. Yes, I hopped into it not too long ago, and
Mhm.
it was like a sort of like a snapshot moment where like I jumped back into it and I was like, this is a really cool game. Like it's sort of kind of a shame that like people kind of like don't talk about it too much. And then I jumped online and immediately remembered why people don't play it anymore, because the online still sucks. Like it was
Mhm.
so
Is it for
poorly
ARMS? Is that what we're
implemented.
talking about?
Yeah, it's just like
Mm.
there's no like matchmaking system. There's no like guarantee about like what
just-
game you're gonna get into. It's like totally random.
I don't need to go on the internet to let people actually punch me.
Yeah,
It's like
that's a little weird.
but the game itself in theory is like really cool and a lot of fun. But it's just like it was just like the one reason that most people are gonna want to have it is to, like jump online and play like like matchmaking. And there's just like no way to do that. And you'll sit around in a lobby just waiting for like 15 minutes until you're thrown into like a 2-on-1 for some reason, like or some like dumb like objective like based volleyball game you didn't want to play. All you want to do is just play like normal arms, and there's no way to do that. So it's just like it's a shame because like I said, conceptually I think it's a really great game. Like I really liked it when it first came out.
I'm just surprised there's still people to find online on ARMS. Like that seems like
It's
to be
it's very hit
tumbleweeds.
or miss. That's what I mean. You will wait in the
I believe
lobby
that.
for a solid 5 minutes,
Hmm.
like, and just question your choices.
Yeah, that
know,
seemed
that
like
sounds
as much of a gimmick to me though as 1-2 Switch did. Like I was equally likely to buy both of those, and I have not tried either
Mhm.
one at this
I
point.
mean,
5 years later,
It was, but like it was probably more of a game than 1-2 Switch was. Like
Yeah,
1-2 Switch was a demo. It was a
Yeah,
demo.
1-2 Switch was the worst version of Wii Sports.
that seemed to be like that kind of angle. Was that like this is the game you play with friends to show them what the Switch can do? Like
Yeah,
it's the Astro's
exactly.
Playroom, but minus the substance.
I mean, I don't think there's
Yeah.
much substance to Astro's Playroom, but that's
Yes,
me.
there is. It's
There is
goofy
for
made.
one afternoon.
Yeah, it's
By
a
that, you're
single it's a single I brought this to a friend's house game and then I never played it again.
Mhm.
And then someone else comes by your house and goes, "Oh, you have a PS5? Well, yeah, let me show you what the controller can do. See, the triggers click. It's
Mm.
good."
Yeah.
Look,
Well,
everything's
the
vibrating and
aiming
yelling at
thing,
you.
Yeah.
Uh,
But yeah, what are some favorites on the system actually? Like, what'd you guys say is your favorite Switch game?
Stardew. That's like the only reason I use my Switch.
Mm.
Yeah, I
And Jordan, don't cut you off here while Dana's thinking.
no,
Don't say Animal Crossing. Don't say Animal Crossing. Dana, go.
it was Animal Crossing. It was Animal Crossing. Yeah, no, I
Jordan can't say
Stardew.
Animal Crossing.
That's
What
true.
I Animal Crossing. It's not fair.
I don't actually use my Nintendo Switch all that much. My son uses his. He plays Fortnite. But the only game that I really find myself going back to the Switch for is for Stardew, because I never wanted to start over. I liked it there. I liked that Stardew was a simple kind of game that you could kind of pack up in your bag and play it in the car or play it wherever you need to, right? So that's my choice. It's my Switch game.
Nice.
Hey Chris, what's yours? Let's make Jordan wait.
Mm.
Is he twitching?
A little bit looks like.
I'm just
I'm gonna take a
reading.
long
I'm
time to
trying to see what else came out on the Switch in its first year.
I think my favorite might actually be Pokemon Sword and Shield. I think it's the only thing I got the most use out of, and the thing I've actually kind of gone back to the most, aside from like Animal Crossing. Yeah, and like I get a lot of like Mario Kart time these days because my son likes watching it. So I'm really glad they're putting out the DLC because I'm getting tired of running the same courses over and over again.
I need to turn right in a different area.
Yeah, no, exactly. This is a new way I'm turning right. But yeah, no, Sword and Shield got crapped on a lot, but I think that's probably my favorite.
Yeah, well, I mean, Chris, did you see the trees? It was unacceptable how bad they looked.
I was too busy.
I mean, come on.
I was too busy raising a kick-ass team of Pokemon, but
I mean, Nintendo could have put that game in the Unreal Engine, no problem, and it would have looked amazing.
yeah.
I don't know why they didn't.
Nintendo could do a lot of
I
things.
hate you so much.
That's everyone's argument, though, Brendan. You go online and everyone's like, "Look, I put Mario 64 in Unreal Engine. Nintendo, take notes." Like, it's like
You either die a hero or live to be the one who tells people that everything should be an Unreal Engine.
Or you live long enough to be the Unreal Engine.
Brandon, what's your favorite Switch game?
I never really played the Switch, so I have no horse in this race at all.
Yeah,
And
Brendan
he has
doesn't
2
have
in his
fun.
autograph.
We know this.
It's not
I
fair.
literally have 2 right now. You're right.
You do. I mean, I have 4.
Yeah, you
Brendan exclusively
One
plays
doesn't work.
Soulsborne games because he hates fun.
He does. It's true. Or like really creepy horror games that make me like
Yeah.
unable to function.
That was weird. You're right. That was a weird game.
All of them.
I-
What was that other one we played where you had to like crawl around in the shadows and avoid the big guy with the? Yeah, it was a gross game. You don't remember, and now I just look like a crazy
You're
person.
describing like 50% of
Yeah.
horror games on Steam.
I've played like 2 games with Brendan though. We don't game together.
Crawl around in the shadows and avoid the big guy.
Yeah, literally, that's every horror game ever.
Oh, wasn't that Bendy's? What's his
I
stupid
didn't play
face?
Bendy.
Or whatever the hell that game was called.
What is it? What is
Five Nights
it?
at Freddy's Ultra Jam Instinct or whatever the new one was called.
Oh,
didn't
Five
play
Nights
that.
was the
Where Freddy is like a good guy. I've been seeing nothing but
Security
like weird
Breach?
memes. Yeah, Security Breach.
Yeah, I never played that.
Freddy's like the good guy in this one. He helps you.
that game should not have had more than one installment.
Yeah.
Shaq.
Speaking of games with a lot of installments. No? All right.
Pretty good.
Well, I was
I'll
going to
leave.
say Shaq Excellence, one of our writers, in the comments saying mainly used to Switch for Smash. The last thing he used it for was No More Heroes 3. I was talking to somebody the other day about No More Heroes 3 and how it kind of landed, and everyone's like, Travis Touchdown's back, and then
No
it
one
disappeared.
cared.
I didn't hear anyone talk about it after that.
I mentioned that too because I thought it was really weird how like, but I, you know, it's also very like telling of the game industry that yeah, like there was so much hype built up around the release of No More Heroes 3, and then I like genuinely didn't even know when it got released. Like it had been out for I think about a week, and I was
Mhm.
like, I saw it on the eShop, and I was like, oh shit, yeah, like this game came out. Like I didn't see a single person on Twitter talking about it, like or like on social media talking about it. Like nobody came out for it, and which was very weird to me.
Like the fans were into it, like the people who were waiting for it were really into it for about a week,
Yeah.
and then that
Mhm.
kind of fell off,
It just
and then didn't really
disappeared, but-
factor into like Game of the Year conversations at all.
Ooh.
I mean, that's
But,
like a lot of stuff too. Like, you know, like you look at even like bigger releases. I feel like Halo Infinite came out. People were kind of excited about it for a week, and then I don't think I've seen a single person talk about it because we've all moved on to the next thing.
Well, I mean,
I got distracted by Destiny. To be fair, I was playing multiplayer for a while on
The
and off
next
actually.
thing.
Mhm. I
But
didn't
yeah,
get to
Jordan,
say
you
my
never did say what's your favorite
Switch
Switch game was.
Yeah,
That's
Dana,
what I
stop trying
said.
to move this along.
Oh,
You
that's true. That's what happened.
meanie.
You talked a lot. Does that count?
I always talk a lot.
Sorry.
Jesus.
Sorry.
Is this the part where he gets called Maidenless? I haven't played Elden Ring yet.
It sounds really good.
yeah, that is the thing we say a lot. They definitely
that's
call
a
you
that's a
maiden.
Okay,
that's a
good.
very easy joke.
I'm actually
because a lot of
excited to
stuff-
hear this because you
Okay,
probably played more Switch games than anybody else that I.
Mhm.
I was gonna say that yes, that's a very hard question because you know I exclusively play Nintendo games and that's all my ever. But I think I mean I've probably played Animal Crossing the most. But if
But
I
you're not
had to
saying that one.
choose my favorite Switch game, it would probably be Mario Odyssey.
Yeah.
Oh,
I know
shut up, Chris.
Absolutely nothing about
I mean,
that game.
Again, my son's
Okay,
very
don't-
into
I'm gonna
Mario
leave.
right now, so it's like when he gets tired of watching Mario Kart, we watch other long plays on YouTube, and
Mhm.
one of them was Odyssey, and then another one was Odyssey, but modded, so it's Luigi Odyssey front to back.
Goodness.
And just like I was wondering, like, does this game still hold up now, like 5 years later?
Oh,
'Cause,
absolutely. 100% it does. Like, it's the most fun to play 3D Mario game that I think exists. It is the most inventive. It's got the most like interesting levels. And like just the way that they sort of like reinvented how you explore the like individual levels. Like, you know, people talk a lot about, and I think I've said this before, people make a lot of comparisons, and even like within the game itself, it kind of tries to like you know, pay homage to Mario 64, but it doesn't feel like Mario 64. It feels more like Sunshine to me, like, because you know in Mario 64 you have these big like levels that you can explore and jump around stuff, but that's all you can do is just jump around. Sunshine gave you an apparatus to like better explore and traverse each level, and that's kind of what Odyssey does. Like it's like, here's a big wall, you could either just like jump up it if you're good enough and like, you know, find little workarounds, but also like, okay, here's a frog that can make you jump even higher, there's a big gap you need to cross, you could just, you know, you could long jump and throw your hat and try to get across that way, or, you know, here's a bullet bill that you can fly around. So there's just like, it like gives you so many creative ways to do stuff while still incorporating all these things that are so like integral to the Mario experience, that it kind of just makes it this like this game that's unlike anything else that's out there in terms of like you know, or any other like Mario game. Even like Galaxy with its little weird power-ups you get for 5 seconds, like it's not nearly as satisfying to move in those games. And I think like with Odyssey and Mario in particular, like the one mechanic it's built around, which is just like, you know, jumping and running, like they reworked that in such an interesting way that it's just like it stands out as like the crown jewel of the Switch library.
Well, we've got
Bold praise.
Mario Day coming up, March 10th.
It's true. Yeah.
It's true. Yeah.
Want to know what I'm doing for it?
HelloFresh.
What are you doing
Okay.
for it? Yeah.
Spoiler alert, Jordan.
I saw it on Instagram.
I know. I'm working with HelloFresh, and I'm doing their Mario HelloFresh crossover, which I won't lie, I don't understand, but I also don't hate.
Now I have
So-
a question. Well,
Did you
That's
get
what-
back game night, first of all?
Yeah, did you win?
I got
re-win
back
it?
eating night, because now instead of gaming, we're cooking.
Well, it
Yeah.
kind of makes, it does kind of make a lot of sense to me in terms of like weird promotions,
Okay.
because Nintendo has kind of really been on this like, you know, active, healthy lifestyle sort of like kick since the Wii. So it feels like, you know, with something like HelloFresh, you know, which like is sort of promotes like, you know, good meals and like, you know, things you can make really fast and easily, and rather than like, you know, go out for takeout or whatever.
They're
you
not
like
healthy meals though. Just so
you can get the healthier
you can pick healthy meals. The
But
Mario
if it-
ones are already chosen
yeah.
for you. And let me tell you, my meal today had 36 grams of fat.
Nice.
So
Those are essential fats though.
sour cream.
It's the Mario diet. Mario is not
Yeah.
thin.
Mario's got a little punch, you know, but he can run, he can jump, he's not out of shape.
I can't make a lot of sense out of what it is, but
I
they
think-
added a lot of things that are really fun for the kids and it'll
Yeah.
be fun. They added things that I didn't notice. There was like a little pack that came with it, and it has Mario like paper masks you can cut out and little
Oh, neat.
cards that you can make like name tags for the table, and so it gets the kids involved, even if
Yeah.
they might not be cooking with you, they can, you know, set the table and
Here's
and
my
do that
question to you
together.
though.
yes.
How many of those meals, because I couldn't actually find the menu that they selected,
Mhm.
how many of those meals include mushrooms? Because it didn't look like any of them
None.
did. And
None.
yeah, that's the weird thing to me. It's like you're gonna do a Mario promotion and not have mushroom-based meals. Like
I can't. That's
Not even as
that's
an
what
ingredient.
I mean.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna try and find the menus because I did take pictures of them.
I was very
Um,
curious about what the actual offerings
so
were.
the first meal that we got, it was just a garlicky chicken Alfredo. That was just a normal meal.
like
There was
okay, I get it.
nothing
He's
on
Italian. It
Mario.
makes sense.
But there wasn't even the other ones. Let me finish. The other ones like had Mario branding on them on the recipe itself. This one doesn't at all. The garlicky chicken Alfredo, but it was yummy. I don't like peas.
Okay.
There were peas in it, so that's fine, I guess. Today we did the what's it called? The Mexican spiced pork quesadillas.
Makes sense. In Odyssey, he puts on a little, you know, poncho and sombrero.
yeah,
okay,
right.
yeah, I see the connection. The connective tissue
I'm
there.
glad somebody.
Okay, yeah. You know, there was that whole Mario's Missing game where it teaches you geography, so it kind of
Yeah,
makes
clearly
sense
that's what they were going for, was the Mario was
Yeah.
missing callback. Yeah.
It's-
Matt
that's
in the
really-
comments is saying there are a lot of mushrooms in the HelloFresh meals. Now, these ones that have to do
Mhm.
with the Mario specifically, they just sent me. So I don't know if you can go in and pick your own meals or if this is
Yeah.
a specialized set.
That's kind of what I was talking about with one of my friends, and she was saying like it seems like it's a good thing because yeah, like if people kind of like are sort of more aware that these things are out there, then like because we were kind of having like, you know, she was kind of having that problem too for a little while where like she wanted to start sort of eating a little bit more healthy and kind of like leading to more like towards more of like a Mediterranean diet, but like just the way her like household was that she like couldn't really do that. So she didn't go with HelloFresh, she went with Chef's Plate, and she found that like she was able to like order, you know, like 2-3 meals every week that were a little bit more like in line with what she wanted to do. So if this kind of thing like gets people invested in HelloFresh, and then they can kind of like go through it and say like, you know, this is an interesting service. Yeah, exactly.
The last one though is Thai style turkey pad krapao. I'm gonna say that wrong.
Makes
Again,
sense. You
it's
know,
like
Mario was
rice and beans
made in
and-
Japan, so it would make
pad
sense
Thai.
that
Yeah.
that they would do a.
Wait,
I'm
I'll
fairly certain it's
show you the
Vietnamese
picture.
pad Thai.
That's it. There.
It sounds
That-
yummy. I mean,
That's my next
Yeah, it
meal.
does sound good.
So the
I'm-
quesadillas were actually really good. I ate them today, and I'm super picky. They had peppers and onions and all that jazz in them, and I ate them, and they were good. My kids have hated everything because they're picky and like
Yeah, no,
vegetables looked at it
Thailand.
and stuff.
my kids don't like HelloFresh either, but that's 'cause
Yeah,
they're
every
damn
time I
kids.
make it, I have to make two dinners. So
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of disappointed that the meals aren't a little more like Mario based, but
yeah,
it's not like Sonic where you have like chili dogs to work off of. Like, there's no real established lore of what Mario likes to eat. But
Just a-
but they like they
lot of racial
Matzo
filter.
spaghetti.
yeah, exactly. They didn't lean too hard into that, I guess, which is also a thumbs up for not taking the easy route.
Yes.
But from my experience with it, like because we splurged and got a couple weeks like earlier in the pandemic, just for something different, and having the activities on hand to keep the kids occupied would be good because it took a long time, a lot longer than they said for us to prepare the stuff. So
Or like you have to do it all panicked really, really quickly. We're enjoying it. My son likes helping to a point, and then he is no longer invested.
that's kids cooking. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's good, and like there's contests run through it. Like you can enter to win this, that, and the other thing. So why not? That was supposed to be like a quick thing, but
It turned into a whole thing.
Hey,
They should have
so
sent
win
a-
back game night with HelloFresh. Because did you have more time to play games though?
pardon?
Did you guys did you guys all gather around and play Mario afterwards?
No, I don't even think I own a Mario game. I mean,
come
I
on.
have the like Nintendo Switch online stuff, so I guess I
So
could.
well, there's that, I guess.
Ugh, we play Fortnite.
So I
I'm
guess
sorry.
so. It partially worked. Thanks. You didn't win back game night. I keep coming back to that slogan, but it's 'cause
It didn't
I
win
find
back,
it funny.
did it? Do you want to keep trying though? Give it one more shot.
a dinner
Uh,
for
Win
kids
back
where they
game
won't-
night.
Today. God, I love
Yeah,
microphones. People should
there you
give
go.
them to me. It's not a good
Um,
idea.
Yeah. Anyway, well, earlier we were talking about creeping around in the darkness in scary games. And if you wanted to do that, you're gonna get another chance to do that with Resident Evil 2, 3, and 7 later on this year when they get surprise PS5 and Xbox Series XS next gen upgrades for free if
Moist.
you already own them.
That's pretty cool.
Moist. Why? What?
What just
Why?
happened?
Jordan threw me off there.
Who
This
are
is
you?
pretty
What's happening?
cool.
Yeah, no, why'd you say moist though?
I didn't say moist.
That's what I heard. Jesus Christ!
Well,
this is
isn't
a
that
weird
what
one.
TJ Detweiler used to say on the show Recess? Disney's The Recess. His
Oh, I used to
catchphrase was
love
moist.
Why though? Who thought that was a good idea?
I don't know, or
Recess.
something
Because
like
it made the
that.
parents in the background cringe, and now maybe that's why I'm scarred. I hate that word. Like,
That's fair. Everyone does.
To be fair, the
I
Resident Evil
do
games
this.
are pretty moist these days. There's a lot of like slimy stuff going on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
They
so
are
it's not
definitely
it's
moist
not
games.
totally off of.
moist.
I'm just gonna
off
make
the
this
mark.
face for the rest of the podcast.
I for one welcome the chance to download Resident Evil 2 again and then think this is too weird. This is too much like pandemic stuff, and close it like I did 2 years ago.
You know something? You're right. That's fair.
Yeah, that I tried Resident Evil 2 2 years ago, and it was just no. This is just too close to home right now, and I don't really care for the engine compared to like the old school. Like I like janky old Resident Evil.
Mhm.
So
Janky. I love that word so much.
I like my Resident
didn't
Evil's
know-
janky.
Did you know that's like a Canadian thing though? It was something I was
Is it?
watching on TikTok. People were
Janky?
talking about like things people say in Canada, and janky was one of them. I'm like, I've literally never heard anyone say that, and since then, like people have not stopped saying it around me.
I see it a
I-
lot in like game reviews and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's why I always picked it up from. I didn't
guess
think
I'm
that was
just
like
not
a
Canadian enough.
yeah, you hoser. Take off, eh?
I'm not that. I'm never going to be that Canadian.
No one's that Canadian.
Okay, that's fair.
But yeah, no. So pretty cool if you own those games, or can pick them up on the cheap between now and then. They go on sale all the time, so if you want to check them out for next gen level, try to grab them the next few months.
I've only ever played one Resident Evil game, and I got about 8 seconds in, and then the controller throwing we've discussed, and I don't actually know which one it was. It would have been on Xbox, PS3, maybe.
They're on everything, to be fair.
Are they? Okay.
Yeah.
But there was like a point where you get into a room right at the very beginning. You're somewhere warm, like Mexico, deserty, and you get into this short building, and you have
5.
to. Is it 5? And you have to like block the windows and the doors, and you're just in this box. And I was like, well, bye.
Yeah, that's 5.
Gotta go.
Yeah, that was the end. No, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one
That
was
was my
okay.
contribution to the Resident Evil.
That's good.
I played that one to find out what happened to Jill, and I don't think I'd go back to it.
I was Jill
wasn't she like a
Valentine for
villain at that
Halloween one
point?
year.
She got all.
Yeah, because I'd heard that they made her like, well, she was controlled by Umbrella and Wesker and stuff, of course. But yeah,
she was in like a
turned
leather
her for a bit.
bodysuit, and she was.
I mean, as one is.
Aren't
I mean,
we?
who isn't
That was
gonna-
not the version of her that I was for Halloween. I was in high school.
No, you were
settled
the
down.
good version.
The like teal top, black skirt.
Yeah, it's
Short
classic.
haircut.
Yeah.
Classic Jill.
Your zombie apocalypse survival escape gear, a tube top and a short skirt.
It's packed in my bag because
Yeah.
I'm not even
Listen,
going to go into.
when the zombie apocalypse
tops.
happens, you don't have time to get dressed. Okay, you just got to run out the door with whatever you're wearing.
I
On
was
that
gonna go
note,
clubbing,
that
but
teal
thought I'd
top
leave
was
the city.
actually a teal skirt that I turned into a teal top. So yeah, you just throw on whatever you got, man. Gotta go.
Very appropriate.
That's it. Grab your guns and run for the hills.
Hide them in your tube top. It'll be fine.
No, she
Not
had like a
full
belt
already
or
or
something.
anything.
No, she had a sweater tied around her waist.
Yeah.
She did. See, she prepared for the
She's-
cold.
Yeah,
That'll
there you
stop
go.
the tube top from riding up, I guess.
Listen,
It's
Jill
game
is an
design.
elite
Female
member
clothes
of
do not make sense.
Stars. Okay, you
None of
don't
them
get
make
to
sense.
question her decisions.
Anime is worse though.
She
as
knows
I learned
what.
the other day.
Would she be
Anime's
an
so
elite member
weird.
of the stars if she didn't know what she was doing? I think not.
Sorry. I will
Case
not question.
closed. The great game
Madam
debate
Valentine.
To
It's
be-
past my bedtime. It's 10 o'clock. I'm out.
Yeah,
Actually, it's almost 10 o'clock. Don't leave us, but Kriparian will be streaming for charity soon. But we'll watch
Nice.
both of us somehow.
Yeah, put them both on. Leave them
as
as
project-
make it very disjointed.
Yes.
as Progenitor in the chat says, Capcom costume design is out there at best. Yeah, Jill's other designs are not so great.
Mhm.
Her
Yeah.
shoulder pad, police outfit with the beret, and
I love shoulder pads. Oh god.
Yeah, I
yes,
mean
no.
that one. I think that one's reasonable at best because she's not
At
she's not
It's
a
reasonable,
police
yeah.
officer. She's an elite member of the stars.
I'm
it's
just
such an
assuming
elite
like
squad
the
that no one
stars
has
in
a
general.
uniform.
Just
No,
the stars,
exactly.
astrology, all that jazz. Astronomy?
What it's
astronomy?
stars stood for
Astrology
something too,
also?
didn't it? Or was it just?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure it did. I hope
it was.
so. Bad writing.
It
Watch
was.
Jordan Google it real quick.
It is bad writing.
I was
though.
over
Resident
Special
Evil is
Tactics and
notoriously
Rescue
bad.
Service. I was already
go.
there.
That's pretty good.
Resident Evil in its infancy was notoriously badly written and badly acted.
You were almost
No.
a
You
You
Jill
were almost
sandwich.
a Jill sandwich. Oh my
Whoa,
god! I
is
was
there an
almost
echo in
sync.
here?
Oh, I forget some other examples. That's always the one that comes to mind first because it's just the corniest thing.
Yeah, that one though. That one's the best one. But Barry
Raccoon
is also one of the
City
best.
was not cheesy at all. That's a movie.
No,
though.
it's a great name for a city.
I was
Yeah.
just
The
talking about
best name for
movie.
the city.
Okay.
I really hope it
You
was
don't
at
like
least
Trash
like
Panda City.
Tanuki City or something in the Japanese, probably.
Yeah.
Maybe it
No.
made
That would make more sense.
Trash Panda City.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All this being said, I'm a little surprised that the next announcement they made wasn't like a Resident Evil remake, or sorry, Resident Evil remake, a Resident Evil Code Veronica remake.
I'm kinda
Like, that's
surprised
like the
about
one
that one, too.
thing. It's like the one
Everyone's
they haven't
going
made
on.
from that era in the new engine, right? Like
Mhm.
everything else is in this RE engine that they have.
But isn't that the one that people are pretty like divided on? Like I know a lot of people.
No,
in
yeah, a
the
lot of people
talk
liked it. It was just it was on the Dreamcast, so less people played it.
Yeah. I just remember when the conversation about Resident Evil come up, a lot of people say Code Veronica is like the worst of the bunch. So I don't know. I never
No,
played it because I didn't own a Dreamcast.
I like Code Veronica. It's ridiculous, but they all are,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's kind of the point.
To me, because I know nothing about it, it just sounds like an adult spin-off of Resident Evil.
I mean, yeah, but no.
Yeah.
Bet you there's also a
Resident Evil
tube top
Red Shoe
involved.
Diaries. Yeah.
I would love.
my
I would
God, I haven't heard that
personally,
in
and
ages.
I know they kind of tried it, but it wasn't good. Or I mean, it was very microtransaction-y. I would love to see them try their hand at Resident Evil Outbreak again.
Oh, that was a
'cause
game.
it was so cool in concept too, because it didn't play like it, or I mean, it played like classic Resident Evil, but it was just like 4-player co-op,
Mhm.
and I mean, I don't know. I liked it. I had dial-up internet, so trying to play it at the time was a nightmare. But
I dig it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, back to Code Veronica. Like, people apparently were divided on Resident Evil Nemesis, which I found weird because like that was one of the ones that's one of the two games I've beaten front to back in that series. So, and then the remake just divided them even more because it took out a lot of the stuff too. So, like, yeah, it's maybe not the most divisive thing, or at least maybe being divisive isn't going to hold Capcom back from, redoing it at some point.
yeah,
It's not the death sentence that it used to be.
I guess that's true.
So actually, well, speaking of PlayStation era revivals, of all the series on PlayStation, we are getting a Twisted Metal TV series, which just got a full season order at Peacock this week, with Anthony Captain America Mackie attached.
Hooray.
Yeah, the enthusiasm is just
Well,
radiating.
The storyline behind Twisted Metal is better than the gameplay itself. I know there's a lot of people that really enjoyed the gameplay of Twisted Metal. I haven't recently one of them. I'm pretty sure I enjoyed playing it through it and seeing the weird ways that Calypso, the weird god of this weird universe, twisted everyone's wishes. But I don't know if I needed a full series of that, but we'll see. It could be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't grow up with a PlayStation, so I never.
It had a PC release. The original Twisted Metal or Twisted Metal 2
Also did not grow up with a PC.
Didn't have a. Yeah, I had a
PS2
not good PC for a long time. So
PS2 Twisted Metal Black was on PS2, and that was a pretty big success.
That was a big release. They also the PS3 version, PS3 Twisted Metal game.
No, I just never. I never got into it.
You
Like,
guys
I
can
missed,
keep
I
saying
missed
it in
the
different
window.
ways, but we still have not
Say
played
as many names as you want. They're all going right over me.
Sure.
So apparently 1988 was the cutoff for Twisted Metal players.
What about the PSP version? Didn't you play that one?
Was there a PSP version? Oh, yeah,
I think there was. Yeah, there
Yeah.
was.
The last one, the last one I really kind of remember happening was the Twisted Metal Black remake or port, I guess. I don't really know what it fell under on PS3. They tried to bring back the online portion of that at least.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why this is a thing. Like,
because
Brendan, you're beautiful. It's fine.
Yeah.
We can see that.
I think the storyline behind Twisted Metal is more interesting than the actual gameplay. So if you're going to bring that thing back, people just want to know the endings. People want to know how wishes go bad, and people want to see people do bad things to other people.
yeah, but was it like that much of a
With the
cohesive
internet
narrative?
for that.
Like,
I mean, I'm sure it's like you can, as long as you can have like one good like car chase or death destruction match or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, my problem is the gameplay of Twisted Metal is so it's just a random destruction derby. I don't know how they'd make a series of that.
yeah, they can't take too much of that.
Yeah.
They
like
make
that.
Death Race the movie every episode.
Yeah, they could do like just kind of following people around this kind of weird destructed world and seeing how as they get what they want, they find out they don't really want it type thing. Like be careful what you wish for type show.
What was
Life.
Yeah, basically.
What was
life?
Binky the Clown's wish?
Binky the Clown.
What's his
Sweet
name?
Tooth?
I don't know.
Sweet
Tooth,
Tooth,
that's it.
the main like icon of the series.
poster boy?
Yeah, the face of the series.
Binky.
I told you I didn't
Binky.
play it. He's a clown. I just tried to think of the most clowny name I could think of.
Yeah, Sweet Tooth.
Nothing about him would suggest his name is Sweet Tooth. He's a clown with a head of fire.
In an ice cream truck.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes a bit more sense now. But how was
There
I
we
supposed
go.
to know that?
Looking at him
I
in
didn't
game
play the game.
magazines.
They don't put his car on the
they do.
the box
they do.
art. They just put his
Yeah, they
face.
do.
Which
They do.
box art has his face, his car on the
The original 4, I believe, on PlayStation.
Also,
Anyways,
one of the
we're-
covers of CG Magazine CG Magazine had
Googling this right
a
now.
sweet tooth cover. So
I'm
Yeah.
googling this right now.
See,
I have no idea what's happening.
just
Continue
as we're
talking.
talking about this, I'm almost thinking of, and great, I don't like the Fast and Furious movies, but if they almost went that direction of just being that over the top with it, it could be kind of neat. They could kind
Yeah.
of bring some of that destruction derby stuff into it if you go the ridiculous Hobbs and Shaw type vibe,
Yeah, yeah,
which I would find
absolutely.
much more interesting in a Twisted Metal adaptation than Hobbs and Shaw itself, because that could
And
not have
they-
turned me away
Too.
any harder.
If they make it a really over the top, really like metal, just like goof, just lean into the goofiness of it, it could be a lot of fun.
Just take some inspiration from Twisted Metal Black, I think, because that seemed to do the best thematically, from what I remember. Like I didn't play too much of. I think I played 2 or 3 on PS1. But then Twisted Metal Black was
but Jordan,
really
at that.
stylistic.
Yes.
look at that. Look at that. Look
Okay.
at that.
Okay. Fair
Just
enough.
for the record, I didn't know how to do that, and he just made me do it passive aggressively.
Just
on
saying.
stream.
Look at these. Look at these.
You did it. You nailed it.
I
Okay.
think so.
Now we've got that. Just wanted to show you that story.
Why
that
is he
that
so
was the cover of an
jacked,
issue of CG
though?
Magazine. Just saying.
That's what I want to know. I was googling pictures of him myself, and he's like the Rock level jacked.
Yeah,
It's
he's
like
a really
nothing-
jacked clown. We got this.
But
It
that's
wasn't
what I'm
always
saying.
though. I don't think.
That's enough of that.
Was he ever
No more.
fat? Like
I mean, he has a
clown?
gut. He has a gut, and he's jacked. So he's like,
This picture I'm looking at, he is ripped, like cut from the
I don't know
gods.
what's happening.
I mean, let's remember who created the series in the first place too.
Yeah, good
Yeah.
point.
That's probably
let's remember.
that's germane.
Are we
um,
going to talk about that?
I
or-
don't
No, let's
Eh.
not go there.
Yeah,
Yeah, we've already been questionable tonight. We can probably leave it.
We've already
alone.
stepped out of our wheelhouse enough tonight.
Yeah, we
Okay.
definitely did that.
The other thing I want to see though, I want to see someone as Axel strapped to the gigantic wheels rolling around
Oh,
blasting
God.
stuff. Give me that.
yeah. That's what I mean. Really lean into the goofiness.
Go for it. I mean, it spawned a bunch of spin-offs in its time. It wasn't. It had some legs, I guess.
It was a big game. It was a big game back in its time.
Wasn't Sweet
Yeah.
Tooth in that PlayStation All Stars too?
He
was.
definitely was in PlayStation All Stars, 100%.
There you go.
Remember-
See, Jordan
remember,
you knew who it
guys?
was all along.
I mean, I knew I vaguely remembered. Like, I know if you showed me the picture of him, I could be like, oh yeah, that's the guy from Twisted Metal. I probably wouldn't have been able to tell you his name right off the top of my head, so I went
Binky.
with Binky the Clown. Yeah, it's Binko.
Binky.
Thank you.
It's Homie the Clown.
But yeah, like, and it's like I just, what it's like iconic, right? You see
Mhm.
enough pictures of the Master Chief, you don't have to play Halo to know who he is.
Well, you see his face soon too. Anyways, not rehashing that topic again. We're gonna move into our review section. Talk about some of the things that we reviewed or got our hands on this week through the through previews or what have you.
I have so many things to talk about.
You do. Well, let's start with you then.
Yeah.
I'm
Cool.
You have some-
literally touching like 5 of them right now. I can't
bet
talk
it.
about
Moving
this one.
on.
No, I can't. I've got nothing to say yet, but just look how fun this is.
Whoa,
This is
look at the
coming.
Very
lights.
pretty.
It's breaking the camera.
Oh,
That's
Blurs.
coming. I
No
just got that
such.
today to play with. So first looks. I didn't unbox it in front of you, but that's the Rocat Vulcan Pro. Full size keyboard,
Nice.
Chris.
Yeah, that's how we
I
do.
specifically, they're like, "Hey, you want a keyboard?" I'm like, "Please, not a TKL."
Does it have a numpad?
It does. Brendan just did a keyboard that is a 60% keyboard, and I won't lie, I was supposed to do it, and I didn't. So there's that. But that's one new toy. But this is the one that we've actually talked about already. This is the Mavix M9. My very
Ah,
hold on.
Nice.
Bam.
bam.
Look how pretty it is. Just look at it. Look at it.
That's
It's so pretty.
it's an unconventional gaming chair for sure.
It looks like a dentist chair, right? It is
Yeah.
so comfy. I don't know if you remember the last time I talked about it. I was kind of like, it's really expensive. It's a good chair, but then I found myself craving it. Like any other chair I sat in, I was like, just for the record, this is not my office. This is like our communal office that we built. I went and pulled this out of my office for this stream not because I wanted to talk about it, but because I didn't want to sit in a different chair. This one was so close. So it got a 9.5. It's a great chair. It comes with all kinds of goodies. There's a vibrating thing in the back that also heats up. It also cools. There's fans in this chair. They aren't necessary.
Whoa.
They aren't necessary at
Yeah,
all.
what do they do? They do much?
The
Listen.
fan and the heat, actually, a little bit. Not in the middle of winter when I have 18 layers on because I'm always
yeah.
cold. But
when
Fair.
when you game to the level that we game, you
Sweaty
need
back.
the fans to cool off your back and
Ew.
ass. Like it's
Ew.
just
yeah,
you know.
absolutely, absolutely.
I don't know about you, but you know, like I get
Like-
you know real hot butt in an intense match of Smash Bros. I tell you.
But yeah, no, I love this chair. I adore it. I believe I gave it a 9.5.
You did.
Noise.
Yeah, I love it, and that's with considering the price because we all know I'm cheap AF, and it's $1,000 chair.
You're not cheap,
But
Dana. You're
now that-
frugal.
Selective.
If it's something for myself, I would buy this
Yeah.
for any one of you, not
Economic.
myself. So
Thank you.
So yeah,
Treat
no,
yourself.
I love this. I love this. And then there is a movie that my review will come out for it tomorrow, but it is not embargoed. The movie comes out on Hulu and Disney Plus tomorrow. It's called Fresh with Sebastian Stan and Daisy Edgar Jones. I want to say her name is. I'm probably getting it wrong because I'm awful.
Sebastian Stan's got a lot of work from Disney.
He definitely did.
That shouldn't be on Disney. Oh my
I
god.
think it's a Fox Searchlight movie. It's just on Disney Plus because everything's on Disney Plus right now.
Now,
Mhm.
Brendan watched this with me.
Mhm.
Brendan, I'm going to be really careful what we say about it because I feel like spoiling any part of the story
Yeah, it
will
does
ruin
go places.
everything. If you watch the trailer, like obviously she meets a guy and it's not how it should turn out. It's a horror movie, like you can tell, but you don't actually know what's going to go wrong. You
Yeah.
know something goes wrong, but you don't know what. And Brendan and I watching this movie literally and Brendan, who is a horror buff, right?
I do enjoy
He's
horror
watching it
movies.
and he's like, whoa, did not see that coming.
Wow, it got Brendan?
It got Brendan.
Okay.
He's an
It
alien.
goes places.
It
Called
does go places. And
Swing away, Johnny. It's Signs from M. Night
Mm.
Shyamalan.
yeah, it's I loved it. Like I really, really did. It's especially when horror is so into remakes and sequels and just overdone stories. It's good. Like we sat there afterwards and kind of looked at each other. I'm like, I don't feel good.
Yeah.
Like
Man.
my stomach's upset. I'm shook. Like I don't like
Like Martha is dead level bad? Like
Oh,
feeling
it's-
bad or
It goes. I don't want to say anything more than it
We
goes
can't.
places.
Like I
Yeah.
don't, if you're not a huge horror buff, I would still recommend watch it. Not if you don't like gross. There's some gross. If you're
Yeah.
gonna like hurl, don't do that. But it's messed up. And Sebastian Stan, like clearly from the trailers, he's not a good human.
No.
And you know that going into the movie if you've watched anything about it, so that's not technically a spoiler. But when you find out what kind of human he is, and
He's
somehow
not human.
you
He's an alien. I'm calling it.
still really like him,
Mhm.
like still almost at the end of the movie, I'm still like, but maybe he'll be okay.
I can change him.
Yeah, I'd try. God, I'd
Mm.
try. Definitely a watch. Like, excellent movie. And I'm not that like I like movies. They're great. Some suck. Usually, unless they suck, I don't really have a ton to say afterwards. I'm just like, yeah, that was good. But like, I remember their names, guys. I remember their names. That says something. I don't remember anybody's name.
Heavy
So,
man.
It's a big deal. It's a big deal. It's a really good. It's a really good movie. I would definitely suggest it. But keep in mind that it's on Disney, and it'll make you feel all kinds of weird ways.
This is very.
Yeah, but
true.
Family Guy is on Disney, so like you know.
I feel this maybe
Well,
be
yeah,
Family
this
Guy.
sounds like it's a bit different.
Take
I just find it weird that they're bringing in new parental controls for the Netflix MCU shows. But
Mhm.
it sounds like this is the
Huh.
thing that should have been like, yeah, we should change things on our system.
I
to
have
keep people
never
out of
seen
this.
those promos that Jordan just showed. Like anywhere on the IMDb and stuff, I didn't see any of that. So I actually there
Kinda
are
just gave away the game, didn't I?
yeah. I
Okay.
actually didn't see any
Oh,
of that and had no
that
idea.
explains everything. Yeah.
Whoopsie.
I'm sad that they did that because I went into the movie like completely shocked. So
Mhm.
that I feel that was dumb of them.
Yeah,
Now
that's
I'm
like
sad.
right. I was just
We're
like
talking about
I'm
Jordan just showed a spoiler.
I was very curious. So I was just like looking because you were saying that it was a gross movie. I went to IMDb just to like look at some of the photos and see like what was there.
I was on IMDb
and-
earlier and I didn't see that one. I thought they kind of hid that and kept it a secret, so I didn't talk about it anywhere in the review. Or
They literally put 3 pictures back to back, and I don't think maybe I won't say it on podcast, so not to spoil it, but they put 3 pictures back to back that like are so not subtle that it just completely gives away. If you're even halfway intelligent, you will figure it out.
I didn't know that they did that, and I'm kind of bummed because I thought that they kept it like just dating gone wrong. That's how they describe it too. So
how can you go wrong with Sebastian Stan?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably still worth a watch.
It's definitely still worth a watch.
You know.
Actually, okay, so Jordan, the picture you just posted, that's a scene from the movie, but the sign above, that's actually really funny, and I didn't notice that one.
Yeah, you didn't notice that? I would have picked that right away.
You wouldn't have, because at that point, you have no idea what's going on. Not even a little bit. You haven't even met his character yet. So you wouldn't have.
Okay, fine. I believe you. Maybe I will. Maybe
Challenge
I'm too
accepted.
stupid to put that thing together. But
yeah, if I watched it now, I would see that.
Yeah.
So I still recommend it. Don't go looking for spoilers. Just go watch it and enjoy it, because it's the first time in forever that I've really been like, this is different, and I enjoyed it. So there, and Jordan's just out here ruining my life. It's fine.
I'm sorry. I didn't do anything. IMDb is the one to blame here.
Yeah, but now you ruined it for Chris because he didn't know.
Well, I was probably on the fence about watching it anyways, so at least now I know.
Taken even a cursory look on Google, he would have.
I honestly had not heard about this movie until just now. So
I mean, you said fresh, and immediately my mind was like, okay, so there's a prince involved.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, and it is Daisy Edgar Jones, just for the record. I was correct. Who, by the way, is not in like anything I've heard of even, and she was great. So read the review tomorrow on cgmagonline.com.
Ooh.
And no spoilers.
Yes, that is a no spoiler review, aside from ones that are in the trailer and not on IMDb apparently. I'll stop talking about myself now. Or Brendan, what do you got?
Oh, what did I review? One second. I have my
Boys.
list here.
It's The Boys.
Where'd it go? There it is. Okay.
The Boys.
So I did The Boys Diabolical, which is the new series that takes, like, it's basically the animatrix of the Boys universe.
Okay.
Yeah, it's weird. It has lots of different kind of takes on that kind of world. They're all bloody. They're all ridiculous. They all have profanity, etc. The one that people are kind of, I think, have gravitated towards is the one that looks very Rick and Morty-esque, including Justin Rollins is doing some voices, etc. But beyond that, it's just bonkers. They just use the concept of superpowers from serum and it goes bad and just kind of run with it.
Yeah.
Some of them work, some of them don't. Huh?
I said, and everyone's a dick.
Yes. I think some of it didn't work as well as I wanted it to. Like I found some of them were just crass and boring. Like they didn't really do anything for me. I liked some of them that did. They kind of took the Justice League Unlimited type look and put it in the Boys universe. So like everyone's trying to do good. Then like, oh nope, he crushed his jaw off. That's just what happened right now. So it's interesting. If you like The Boys, it's probably a new take on that universe. If you don't like The Boys, it's probably not much there for you, because it really does depend on you knowing that world, those characters, and why they're doing what they're doing. But it's interesting, that's for sure.
Yeah, because when I first saw it, I thought it was just like a straight sort of like animated thing, right? I didn't realize it was an anthology.
I didn't either. So when I went in, I was like, "Oh, this is going to be a series." Then like, "Oh, how are they going to make this just like a continuous storyline?" But no, there's only like only one episode of it. Does it just like completely touch on the regular characters you know from The Boys? Like you have the main what I forget his name. I am blank right now.
Isn't it like
Bill the Butcher?
Yeah.
I have no idea what's happening.
Fall
I
Out
was
Boy.
thinking of the guy, the Captain America, the Superman guy. What's his name?
Yeah, Homelander. He's in a
Minuteman
few of
or
them.
Homelander. That's it.
He's in a few of them, so that's cool, I guess.
Are these considered like canon to the whole
I don't
overarching
know.
thing? No.
I really don't.
I couldn't believe it. One of these, I'm just looking at pictures of it now. One of them looks like a Buttons and Mindy thing.
Yeah.
Like,
You're like,
so yeah. It's
I know.
just for the tell-alls.
It's just for the lulls.
Yeah.
It would have to be. I mean,
Side note: I'm so glad the Animatrix exists so that we have a term for these kinds of things. These like inside baseball spin-offs of other properties that are animated and released as an anthology. Because I think I used the same terms to describe Star Wars Visions last summer. So
yeah.
it's the Animatrix, but Star Wars.
It's Halo Legends, but Star Wars. Thank you very much.
I think did
Oh, there you
Animatrix
go.
come first?
It did. It did.
That's like its sole contribution to society, though, is just being a code hand. I like that.
Yeah. Well,
I like it.
very good.
So I didn't have a lot going on reviews. So my Destiny 2 review is coming up. Should be up this weekend.
Woo.
Still loving that. Not much else to say. I didn't already say it last week though, so we won't take the time on it tonight. Got some other goodies I'm reviewing. Steel Series sent me the Destiny mouse that I can't quite get up here. Can't quite make it reach, but yeah, no, it's a little too short with my setup. There it is. Rival 5 Destiny Edition. Rival 5 is a fantastic gaming mouse, and having it in the Destiny colors, one of my favorite games, is even nicer. So, highly recommend that if you're a Destiny fan, or the standard version if you're not. But
I saw the pretty lights.
It's very pretty.
I support it.
Yeah, my keyboard is not the keyboard I'm reviewing is not going to make it on the stream, but another Steel Series thing coming up too. But yeah, that's it for my reviews though. I didn't really have anything formal go up this week, so my game show review went up recently. I'm not sure I talked about that in the show or not, but Ewin's Flash XL.
Yeah, we're all just gonna do this now. Oh wait, I screwed
We're all just gonna lean sit like this all night.
Jordan, are you next? Jordan, do you need a gaming chair?
You can't even see the backboard of my crappy chair. I need a chair.
Dude.
I'm sitting on an IKEA chair that I had to like take a pillow from my like
Oh, you can
couch.
see my hair.
to
Look how
put
long my
on.
hair is now, guys. This is a big deal.
'Cause that
But
is
yes,
how
so
garbage it is.
Jordan needs a chair.
I need the next chair review so I
can
can
do that.
actually have a chair.
We can do that.
My chair hurts. It actually genuinely does. Sitting on this chair for too long genuinely like, hurts my tailbone. It's ridiculous.
That was the ones at Brendan's house. I'm like, no, I'm not happy. They were like really tall chairs too, and I am short AF. So like,
That's
I'm
why
dangling like a
I
small
periodically
child.
move over to that like nice little love seat. And
A little snuggle with the stream.
yeah, I'll use this chair as like a foot
table?
like, rest. Yeah, as a
I
table,
approve.
more or less.
I approve of this. Absolutely.
That's all it's good for at that point.
IKEA chairs are normally better than that, but yeah.
I don't even know if this is IKEA. To be honest, I think it is, but it's just like it's probably cost whoever bought it like $5.
So it's an IKEA knockoff. So it's Jisk.
Maybe I'd have to like really look into whether or not it's IKEA. I'll update you on the next podcast.
Wait,
whether
is
or
it
not this
Jisk or
IKEA.
Yisk?
A Yisk.
What did you review this week, Jordan?
What did I review? Oh boy.
Went up live today, actually.
It did. So I got to play Triangle's stupid name. I mean strategy. And let me ask you a question, guys. Do you like watching badly read dialogue for 9 hours?
I do.
Well, yes, I have played Xenosaga.
This is the game for you, Brendan, because that is most of what it is.
My life
So-
is perfect now. That's all I wanted.
Oh yeah, you'll be very happy because it is just
I am.
nonstop
I'm automatically
watching.
happy right now.
And
You
you
can
know
tell.
what? It actually did make me kind of happy that like when I was sort of like going through like other reviews of the game that a lot of people clocked it on that, and I was kind of like, okay, good, it wasn't just me. Yeah, so it's this is Square Enix's and Art Dink and Nintendo's like Suikoden Final Fantasy Tactics, like sort of Fire Emblem also, if you will.
Strategy RPG.
It's a strategy, turn-based strategy RPG. It's very, very dense in the lore. It got marginally better as it went on. I think I'm about like 12 hours deep into this game. I think I've done maybe 4 or 5 battles. And the rest of it is just watching cutscenes, or cutscenes, quote unquote. And that's sort of my big problem with it, is that it's very like imbalanced as a game. I mentioned in my review like Fire Emblem and Wargroove and sort of like similar games of the ilk, because when, you know, at first I thought maybe I was being unfair. I was just like unfairly comparing them to like these other games, but like I sort of like went back and kind of like started playing Fire Emblem Three Houses again, and I could kind of pick up on like where the difference was, because it's not like those games don't have a a big story to tell, or like a lot of characters and houses and factions to keep track of, but like they do it in such a way that it's so much more easily digestible, because they sort of save it for like the beginning and the ending of the battles, which is like the reason you're playing these games. Like if I, you know, wanted to sit down and just watch a visual novel, I would do just that. So that's kind of where the problem is. Like it really does lie, because you'll start a chapter and it's like literally nothing but cutscenes, and then the chapter just ends, and it's just like, okay, that was like a chapter, I guess. And then like when the battles happen, like, they're so few and far between that like you're almost not prepared for them. Like when I just like starting the game, I think I was about maybe like 4 or 5 hours into it, and I was into my like second battle of the game, and the recommended level for the fight was level 4. All of my characters were between level 1 and level 2, and I was like, well, how was I supposed to prepare for this fight when like none of my, like there was no battles in between all the dialogue to like get me ready for this? So then I kind of learned also that like, so you have a sort of like a little like sub menu like encampment that you can sort of walk around, where there's like, you know, a merchant and a place where you can upgrade your skills, and then there's this thing where you can do these mental mock battles. And when I heard that, I thought, okay, this is just, you know, for practice, right, just to help you understand the game's mechanics and stuff. It's like, no, those are like legitimate challenges where you actually get experience and items and money from them, and you can do them as much as you want. So you can just sit there and grind repeatedly to like either over level yourself or like over, you know, give you like the resources you need to buy like items and stuff. But then not only that, when you do like a battle, if you're effing it up royally and you quit out of the battle to like start again and start over, you get to keep all the experience and like upgrade, or it's called kudos. You get from like doing like special things, like, you know, hitting a guy from behind, or like hitting guys from like safe zones or high ground, and the kudos comes into, you can use those to buy like special items. So even if you fuck up, you still get to keep everything that you get out of the battle. The only thing you lose is like items. So it's like there's no like penalty for messing up. Like, so there's no real like incentive, to like actually really try and strategize, because like even if you screw it up, you can just start over and start the fight over even more powerful than you were, because you like leveled up a couple times or whatever, right? So it doesn't feel like this game really knows what it wants to be, because it's like it's just very all over the place. And then, you know, I know that the trailer made a big point about like, you know, the choices you make and how it affects the story. So far, I haven't seen that. And I kind of mentioned it in my review, because very, very early in the game, you're sort of given a choice between going to these 2 separate nations, because the whole world's divided into 3 nations. 3, you get it? And one of them, thank you, Brendan, you got it. That is the aforementioned triangle of this triangle strategy. And so like it's like one of them controls salt, because salt is very important for some reason, and one of them controls iron, because, you know, it's, you know, iron for weapons and such. And then the nation that your character is from is like the sort of the middle ground that like facilitates trade with everybody. So you have a choice of going either to like the salt nation or the iron nation. And I struggled with that choice. There's like a voting system you get where like every, you know, your party's split. there's usually one person who's undecided that you can sort of like talk to, and there's like you have three separate choices, that you can use to sort of sway people, right? Some people are like more swayed by like logic, some people are swayed more by like emotion. So I like wrestled with this choice of where to go for like a solid 15 minutes. And I decided to go to the place where that controls the iron, which is like, the main character's like, he's got this like arranged marriage to she's like the cousin of the Archduke from that place. So I was okay, I'll go there, on a peacekeeping mission, whatever, like meet my future brother-in-law or whatever. Or yeah, she's the half sister. Sorry, not the cousin. And and that'll be good for the story, right? Well, then like the next chapter, that guy, turns out to be the main antagonist, and he decides to start invading people, and he like started invading the country that I'm from. And like the way he talked to the character was like he had never met him or the whole party in his life. And I was like, well, wait a second, like, why are you acting like this is the first time we're meeting? I literally came to your country and met you, and like, and I thought that maybe that would like have some merit going down the road. And so I started just like Googling it to figure out like what was the difference. And realistically, everyone's saying like no, even like in the demo that Nintendo put out for the game that actually like has you make that choice, it really doesn't seem to come down to any like actual plot difference. It's whether or not you get like one character or a different character. And then like even the way you get characters, just like it's like the battles themselves are fairly decent. Like I don't hate the combat system. I think it does do a lot of interesting things with like where you position your people and how you attack enemies, and sort of like and it's very different to a game like Fire Emblem or like War Groove or Advance Wars and stuff, where you sort of have like the your turn and then the enemy's turn. Like this is more designed like an RPG where whoever has the higher speed stat will like go first, right? So you have to really navigate the waters differently because like three of the enemy can attack before one of your guys like do. So like there's an interesting mechanic there too, right? But then like like aside from that, there's not a lot of like bombast and like not a lot of like even the plot itself doesn't really feel wholly cohesive, because like you don't really get too many characters from the story. Like so far I've gotten like 5 or 6 new characters, and it's just sort of like you go to the map screen that shows you all the different like dialogue scenes you can select, and there's just like a notification that some person's at your encampment, and you have to sit through a cutscene with them, and they're like, hey, I decided to join you, I'm on your team now. Like like, okay, cool, this is the first time we met and I feel like I have no connection to you whatsoever, but great, be in my team. Yeah, so it's just, I don't know, it's a very weird game. I'm not going to say it's terrible, but I don't know how much influence Square had, because I kind of feel like as of recently Square is kind of proving more and more that they don't know how to tell stories anymore, because like Octopath Traveler was really bad for that too. Like they made a big thing about how you have 8 people and then all those people meet and there's really no like connection after that. They sort of just meet and then they are all on a team and that is the end of it. Like, and then with looking back on like Kingdom Hearts and even how they kind of ruined the story of the Final Fantasy VII remake, like I don't know. They did, Chris. Don't look at me like that. They introduced Sephiroth way too effing early. It's ridiculous. He's supposed to be a surprise villain. It's not just like, oh, hey, you guys know Sephiroth? Well, here he is. You love him so much. Like, no, him being the bad guy was a big reveal.
Let's not veer off into the woods on that one.
Sorry. Don't look at me like that.
Come on back. Come on back.
Bring it back.
Anyway, yeah.
So that snap you were doing earlier, does that bring Jordan back?
I don't think it's not a totally bad game, and I feel like I don't know now if it's just maybe like Stockholm syndrome. I've played too much of it now. I kind of want to keep playing it, but it is very, very like heavy in the story, and it really does like how much you're willing to sit through a lot of really dry, poorly narrated dialogue. And I put this in my review. This is a pro gamer tip. Switch the voice acting to Japanese, because the Japanese like voice actors actually emote and it sounds like they have like agency in the world that they are inhabiting.
Yeah, you were mentioning that to me while you were
It's
playing it. You said it
yeah,
sounds like they care.
it's like night and day difference, like how
Really?
much. Oh yeah, it's so like the English voice acting is just so bad. Like I
Weird.
really couldn't get over it.
The cast now.
And yeah, it's just like it's a very weird thing, but I don't think it's bad.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like normally when the game
You-
starts to get bogged down with text and stuff, that's when I start like not waiting for it to narrate everything. I'll read and then I'll skip because I can read way faster than they can
Yeah.
speak
Yeah,
it.
but that's the thing, is that they narrate pretty much all the spoken dialogue. Like aside from like some stuff here and there where like you talk to people, there's these investigation moments where you sort of like walk around what might be like the potential battlefield of that turn of that chapter, and you sort of like talk to people and you'll learn like specific little pieces of information that could help you like in the dialogue. Or like in the voting sections where like people might be like persuaded using like other bits of information. And but then like yeah, like in terms of any like actual cutscene, like it's just all spoken and you have to kind of sit through a lot of it.
I'm not recognizing
'cause I
any
was-
of the names I'm seeing on behind the voice actors for the cast actually.
Yeah,
So
it's really really dry. Like it's like I cannot stress that enough. But yeah, like and like I said too, like it's like just like weird too, because it's like they throw you into an overworld map that shows like little points of interest, like what, like in a game like Fire Emblem would be like, here's a battle mission, here's another mission, like these are things you can actually do. But in this one, it's just like they're literally like, unless they have like swords beside them, like they're just pretty much all dialogue. So you'll go into a dialogue encounter, it'll throw you back into the map. You'll select another thing for a dialogue, and it throws you back into the map to like choose something else. It's just like, why isn't this all just playing out cohesively towards the narrative? Like this should just be flowing like a story. Not that I'm like picking and choosing what stories I want to listen to, because again, like, they say that some of them are optional. But then it's like they also say if you progress the story, those little other side stories will go away forever, so you'll never get to experience them. It's like, well, then now I feel like I have to, like,
Mhm.
No.
and this is the kind of thing, like, and I mentioned this in my review, like, when I think about games like Mass Effect or Dragon Age, like, it's not like I don't like games that have these really deep, like, intricate stories and have a lot of like dialogue, like moments and story moments, but it's like you gotta put gameplay in between to break it up. Otherwise, I'm literally just playing a visual novel.
I was perusing reviews of it this morning because this one's been on my radar for a while. 'Cause I'm a big Final Fantasy Tactics fan and other things like that. And what came to mind for me was both Metal Gear Solid and Xenosaga. Like those are two games that like really get bogged down with their own story, and like you have a like the ratio of gameplay to like cutscene is definitely skewed in those two series, and that's kind of reminded me of this one. But
yeah, it's it really will be like determined on how much you're willing to sit through all that stuff, because yeah, like it's not the story's not bad, and it's got some good little twists and turns here and there so far. I kind of had the big surprise sort of like spoiled because it was listed in the embargo sheet, like don't reveal this. So then when it sort of happened in the game, I was kind of like, oh, I know why they're all going to war now. So but like it's not uninteresting. It really is like just far too much with very little in between, breaking up the monotony.
For sure.
cool.
So yeah,
Jordan's been playing that.
What else you guys
Have
been
you been playing anything
for
else, Jordan?
non-review purposes?
Well,
they released a demo today, wink wink, of Kirby and the Forgotten Land.
they did do that. No
That's
winks. They
been
did
pretty
do that.
cool.
That is
That's definitely the
fact.
way I played it and nothing else.
yeah. Why
no,
be sketchy about it?
it's I have no idea. It's just things. So I'm just a weird guy like that.
Why are you saying it weird? Cool whip.
Did you
That's what
guys
you're doing right
play Kirby and the Forgotten Land at all?
I'm actually
No?
setting it to download right now because I forgot about it earlier.
Because I
It's-
forgot about it.
It's
That's
it's
fair.
really it's really neat. I like it. I will say that I think the trailer might have, or the initial reveal might have oversold the idea that this is like a big like open form Kirby game like Breath of the Wild and Odyssey and stuff. It is
Yeah.
very much a like linearly designed Kirby game, just like with big sort of 3D open worlds. It's sort of like there was a sub game in Kirby Planet Robobot that had these like sort of like 3D levels that you could like move around like in three-dimensional space, and it feels like an evolution of that. Like they were like it's still very much designed like a Kirby game, but they actually gave you like these just like sort of wider areas to move around in, and it works. It feels really good to play. Some of the mouthful things is a lot less weird than I thought it would be, and there is a semi like plot related reason that that happens, just because you know what, I don't know if I can talk about it,
Probably not then.
Yeah,
Probably
let's
not.
drop
I don't know if it was in
You've
the
been
demo.
playing it. You have feelings, and we're glad.
And yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. I think people are definitely gonna like this one. I mean, it is really hard to get Kirby wrong. I think. What do you mean?
Well, I mean, like that's very different, right? Like Kirby's taken a lot of different forms over the years, and like Kirby's Adventure was like one of my favorite games as a kid on the NES. Like I was obsessed with that game. Nothing else has really hit the same for me at all, except for like Canvas Curse, or was Canvas Curse the one where you drew the path with the rainbow and the stylus?
Canvas Curse, and then there was the one on the Wii U. There was like the rainbow.
I don't think
Curse.
I played that one. It was just the
That's a
DS
good
one. But yeah, like nothing else really grabbed me since Kirby's Adventure. Like everything they've done with it since.
Really?
So.
What about Kirby Superstar on the Super Nintendo?
It's fine. I think I played. They ported that to DS, I think, and I was like, yeah,
they did. It was that was so good. They added all those extra modes too. There's the Meta Knight mode. There's like the DDD mode.
But like none of it was Kirby's Adventure. It's just I guess I have a very specific and narrow view of what Kirby is, but like that's one series that Nintendo will take in every direction they can. Like
it's I think
series for sure.
You and I definitely have very different like views on this, because the first Kirby game I ever played was Kirby Superstar on the Super Nintendo, and that was like one of my favorite games as a kid. Like I played that game back and forth, I don't know how many times. And I didn't actually play Kirby's Adventure on the NES till like long later when I picked it up on my Wii and I downloaded it the virtual console. So like between like Kirby Superstar and Kirby's Dreamland 2 on the Game Boy, like those two are kind of like my semi like hallmarks of really, really good Kirby games. But like I always loved Kirby. Like Kirby's Pinball Land was one of my favorites. I really, really like Kirby 64.
Played a Kirby anything.
Kirby 64 was so super great. You got a Darth Maul lightsaber in that one.
Try Kirby's Adventure though. It's really good, Dana.
it's passable. If you're gonna start with any Kirby game, play Superstar first, because they really expanded on all the cool moves you can do with the powers. Like the
audacity of you, Jordan Beer, to call it passable.
It's fine. It's an NES game, so it feels the weight of the NES. But then
hot takes tonight.
I really, really liked Kirby's Epic Yarn. I thought that was kind of a neat like idea of the just like the way they sort of like redid Kirby. I mean, from what I'm aware of, it wasn't supposed to be a Kirby game to begin with. They just slapped Kirby into that.
To come back what you said at the top too, like the whole open world thing. I think ever since Breath of the Wild, every time Nintendo comes near open world, people just think, "Oh, it's Breath of the Wild." Well, no, Breath of the Wild was very much its own thing. It did what it did. It doesn't. Everything Nintendo does that's open world-ish doesn't have to be Breath of the Wild. Like, no, I don't think I would want Kirby to be Breath of the Wild either. Like, that's just too epic for Kirby.
Yeah, I don't think you couldn't do it. But like, yeah, maybe like I said, it's
sometimes.
But maybe you shouldn't.
If we should,
yeah,
like there was Jeff Goldblum comes to mind. Like you were so preoccupied whether you could, you didn't think whether you should.
Whether they should, but because like again, like it's not like it's like you couldn't have a decent idea there with like an actual like big like open form world that you could sort of like explore little areas piece by piece, like little dungeons and whatnot. But yeah,
but I feel like we might hear more about this game later.
Yeah, you will definitely, definitely in more depth.
Oh no!
And speaking of things that Breath of the Wild has had a big influence on, how's Elden Ring, you guys? Because I have not tried it.
I like it. I like
Oh,
it.
I love it. Oh,
I think I'm the one
so
person on
good.
this panel who
Don't
hasn't played
ask me.
Dana hates it.
So, okay, to be clear, I played it on a really rough day. Like everything that day was going wrong for me. I was super upset. I probably could have cried if he looked at me the wrong way. And then I was like, you know, it's a good idea. Let's start an impossible game right now. That
Souls likes.
let's just do that. It'll be fine. And like, I spent 15 minutes smashing pots and getting nothing fun out of them.
No rupees out of them.
Yeah. See, I made that joke. It was hilarious. Nobody
Yes.
Not a
cared.
single fairy.
It's very unfortunate. And then immediately ran into a thing I should not have, and just
Was
no
it the
bueno.
forest guardian, the big guy on the horse?
Yes.
Maybe.
Maybe
it was.
Brendan knew.
Yes. He may or may not have had a talk with me about it and said, "Bad Dana." So that's what I walked up to, and then immediately got slaughtered. But the problem was, because that was the first thing I'd seen, that was when it was like, hey, by the way, this is how your bow and arrow works. And I immediately died. I can see Brendan scrolling behind me, looking at my chair. So now I'm wondering what's wrong with it. Anyway, so immediately go back, and now it's not giving me the like, here's how your bow works tutorial anymore. Because technically, while I was panicking and dying, it gave it to me. So I was like, I don't know how to use a bow now. And then I shut it off, and that was the end of the game.
Were you not made aware that there is actually like a thing in your like, it's kind of like tucked away in your inventory that's like memories you get that like actually like tells you like tutorial stuff?
It's hidden. It's not easy to find.
Yeah, it's not apparent like how you can access it, but like, because I didn't realize the first time I played it that I completely skipped the entire like first area tutorial when you come out of
It's
like
not easy to find at all.
No, because that's what I mean. It's like a little, you drop into a hole, and I was like, okay, this game's trolling me. It's like there's a little ghost in a chair being like, go tarnished, like drop into the hole of remembrance, and I was like, this game's messing with me. I'm not jumping into no holes. Like, and then I went back and I did, and I was like, and it actually gave me the whole like proper tutorial, because up to that point I didn't know you could how to two-hand a weapon, so I didn't know that was even a thing. And then I go into the tutorial, and it's like, oh yeah, by the way, if you hold triangle and press the right R1, you go into two-handed mode. I was like, because I had gotten a broadsword. It's like it at the time I remade my character. At the time I was going like a dex build, and I got a great sword, and it's like, you won't be able to use this unless you go two-handed. And I was like, how the hell do I do that? Like, that's a thing. So yeah, like I missed the entire first area tutorial. But it was cute, because then I went back there and I was at like level like 15, and they throw like just like a regular like guardsman as like a boss, and I was like, oh, you're adorable. I killed him in like one hit.
I picked a lot of flowers.
Yeah, you have to.
It made me happy. And I might go back, but that was not a day, and it's not been an easy week. So like, we're not playing a game like that on a hard week.
I would say, and I feel like Brendan might agree with me on this, that probably out of all of the Souls games, it's probably the most accessible. Like,
I mean,
because
it's a Souls level of accessible, but it is the most accessible of the Souls. Sekiro is pretty accessible too, I think.
Like the most accessible Souls game is still pretty impenetrable.
I mean, I feel like, because like Sekiro feels like the way it's built is very different. Like this feels very traditionally like Dark Souls. I think it's part of the reason too why even I've been having a bit of a difficult time with it, like in comparison to the last game. Well, because the last game, I mean, okay, like the last Souls game that I've been playing like the hell out of was Bloodborne, and Bloodborne is like, for a Souls game, is like very like the way the combat is designed is like very different to like the way Dark Souls is, and this feels very much like Dark Souls, because I can't get the parry down worth shit. But like in terms of like the sort of like the way that they give you a lot more freedom to sort of get into combat, the sort of like the way you can approach it like differently with stealth, the jump smash move you can do, which is really effective, even like the way you can counter from just like blocking. It does feel very much less like you have to be like really, really on the ball, sort of like Dark Souls 1 and 3, than other games. Like you can actually really kind of get into the combat and have a reasonable time with it. And yeah, just the openness of it too, I feel like does feel a lot more accessible than a regular Dark Souls, where it's kind of like you're in an area and figure it out.
it does that openness. It also feels more like lived-in world rather than one that's always
Absolutely, yeah.
bleak. Like this is like the Souls games are known for being
There are flowers to pick.
yes.
There's wildlife. It's crazy.
Whereas most
That's
Souls
true. I
games,
chased it for a while to see if I could kill it. That's another thing I did. I ran
kill
after
everything.
little.
Yeah, you
well,
can kill
I
everything.
couldn't, so that's embarrassing.
Rolling
Eventually.
sheep.
the
Couldn't
rolling
kill-
Which
sheep.
that
Weird,
was
right?
hilarious.
Gross.
I'm actually a little upset you ruined that for me when you talked about it on podcast, because like seeing it for the first time is like
Oh,
just
it
like
actually happens. It wasn't just like a glitch.
Yeah. no, they go into a little
Alright.
Sonic spin dash and just
Yeah.
roll the hell out of there. It's
Are there coins?
hilarious.
This is what I need to
No.
know.
Rings. Are there
Sorry,
rings?
Unfortunately
I'm
not.
sorry, I fucked.
God.
God.
I will say that because it does feel more accessible world,
Mhm.
it does. There's so much you can do. The world is so
Yeah.
large compared to
And
like
even-
Dark Souls, where they kind of push you in the right direction.
Mhm.
Elden Ring just like experience things. And
Yeah,
do it
and I feel like in that sense too, like it's a lot less like, even like when you sort of like, because you know, aside from like some of the more like noticeable bosses, like you know the Forest Guardian, the first dragon that you come across, like
that's
you
just
know,
like
they're-
there.
yeah, it just shows up. That
Yes, they
was
do.
ridiculous to me. I feel like I should have had a notion that it was going to show up too, because I was in like the what was it called, like the flame burnt
Yeah.
ruins, and then I saw this big like pyre of people worshiping, and I was like, oh perfect, more people to kill. So I started running up to them, and then yeah, this big F off dragon just shows up, and I was like, uh-oh. Or the
But
the
thing is, those
Mistwood
aren't even
Forest.
the big bosses. They're just there.
No, they're just yeah, they're not even like, yeah, but like they're mostly optional. I
Mhm.
found the dragon, there's like the dragon heart temple or whatever, that if
Mhm.
you kill the dragons, like you can make special elixirs, I think, or something, like you can get buffs from dragon, but you need dragon hearts to do it. Yeah, but like, you know, the few of the dungeons that I've gone into, like I was kind of like, that's the thing too, right? I think with like Dark Souls and, you know, Bloodborne and stuff, like a lot of the bosses that, you know, are waiting for you at the end of an area are these big, you know, really intimidating things. But you know,
Right.
aside from some of the more like notable ones, you know, I've gone into a couple dungeons, and the first one was just like a guy, and the second one was just like another guy with a hammer. One of them was like a big ogre, but those guys are all over the map, so I knew how to deal with them no problem. Yeah, I don't know. It's in that sense, I feel like you know, it's a little bit more forgiving in that way. Like the bosses
Yeah.
are still pretty, like they're pretty intimidating
And
in the sense that you have to.
especially, they really did.
Yes.
I found that one harder than a lot
Oh,
of
it's
bosses.
very tough.
Considering that it is the first one you experience, it's the first time really jumping into that,
Mhm.
and it's so hard. It's hard compared to some of the Dark Souls bosses that are like later in the game.
Yeah. No, I'm right there with you, because yeah, like I was just, and that's like the first, you know, I mean, you can say the first quote unquote like story boss, right? Like that's
Yeah.
where you're sort of guided towards. And yeah, he is really challenging.
More challenging
So
than
I-
I expected him to be.
Yeah. And I don't know if that's the game kind of like, you know, trying to incentivize you to sort of run around and explore stuff, because yeah, you get to this guy, he's so hard to deal with.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, you know, maybe go explore a little bit and take on a couple other bosses, you know, maybe level up a couple times, like get back here when you're ready for it. Because yeah, like for the most part, it's all pretty accessible world.
I mean, at least the early part of the game is very accessible. It lets you experience and kind of just experiment how you want.
Until you run into the man with the horse.
Until you go,
Don't do
yeah, until
that.
you go
That's hard.
to those
Don't see a man about a
aforementioned-
horse.
Don't. He
Until
will
you
not
get the
give
horse
you a
at least.
horse.
Watch out for those flame scorched ruins, because you know, there was a little trap chest in there. Did you find that, Brendan? Trap chest that sends you to that mine with the
No, I haven't
centipede
done that.
warriors, and then you're in like the top, like the
I have
north
not seen that yet.
east. Yeah, you get teleported to like the northeast part of the map, and it is a horrible place. There's a weird like magic town, and I'm not making this up. You have to go there to see it. All of the guys there look like the Burger King mascot. They have these ridiculous
super weird.
heads. It's so funny, but they are deadly
That's a
with
meme.
magic.
That's a meme.
It has to be a meme, yeah,
that
because
that didn't happen. That's a meme.
I promise you it happens. They all look like the Burger King guy. It's ridiculous.
Weird.
But yeah, they are devastating with magic. And like, there's this giant blood pool that you can, like, blood lake you can go
blood
into.
pools.
There's like these weird like puppet monsters. Yeah, it just sent me there, and I was like, and that's kind of what I find really exciting about this this world too, is that, like, you know, I feel like a lot of developers will use an open world as an excuse to sort of cut corners and just recycle content. Like like if you put Elden Ring beside like a game like Skyrim, right? Like, it feels so night and day different, because everything in Elden Ring feels very deliberate. Like, there's not one part of the map that doesn't feel like it was designed with intention. Every dungeon feels different, every like boss feels different, every cave, like everywhere you go just feels like this wholly unique experience. And then like you go, you find a place that teleports you to this whole different, like, even worse nightmare realm. Like, there's always a surprise sort of waiting around the corner. And like, it's interesting for me to play it now, because it's one of those games that, like, I've been wanting to play, like, and I've been like kind of like, should I record this for my own channel and record some gameplay, because I've been playing so much Bloodborne on my own channel. But it's like, when I actually want to sit down and do it, it's like, I don't want to record it, because I don't want to actually have to be like performative. Like, I just want to sit down and play it and enjoy it. Yeah, and just be in the world. And so, like,
and figure it out too. Like,
yeah,
I don't love
part of that
figuring things out, especially stuff like that. Well, there's a bunch of people watching me.
There's definitely part of it. I think playing open world games too is a lot harder when you're like recording them. But
I pay attention. I'm like, oh, I've been farming herbs for like an hour. I'm sorry, guys. Let me go stab something real quick.
No, because that's it's part of my point there too. Yeah, because it's an open world game. Like, it's to me, it's not one of those. It's one of those games that's like, it's like, I wouldn't make it interesting to watch, because, like, all I want to do is explore and see what's out there, and just like Dayna said, like, just be in the world, right?
People watched me move a like several thousand flower garden in Animal Crossing. So I mean, people will watch anything.
I know people will watch that, but it's like, for my own desire, like, I don't want to do that, because it's like, it's like, I don't want to feel like I have to keep moving things forward. Like, I want to just explore every inch of this world and see what it has to offer. And it's like, and the reason for that is because it is so well designed.
Absolutely. But Chris, you haven't been playing Elden Ring, so what have you been doing? Investigative journalism there.
Doing with my life. Like you, I had a similar disruption in my life this week, so I turned to Destiny 2, which I hope coincidentally was reviewing as well. It's my blow off Steam game, and I put it to good use while I was frustrated with other things. So yeah, I've been playing a lot of that, and still playing Link to the Past a little bit, picking away at that.
Nice.
Just got to the Dark World really in full. So
nice.
Yeah, that's still my first run of it. Like I said recently, I just got into it for the first time after watching a randomizer stream of it, and I don't know why I was always held off from it before, but I broke past that first couple hours of it and getting into the meat of it now. So
I don't think I asked on the last podcast, but did you ever play a Link Between Worlds?
That's the 3DS one, right?
That's the 3DS one.
So coincidentally, that's one of like the 2 Zelda games I've actually beaten.
Oh yeah, okay.
I've played most Zelda games, but I haven't beaten more than like that one. And was there another one? I can't remember if there's another one. Yeah, I don't know. I always hit a wall in Zelda games. Like, I love them, but I'll get to the end. I'll get halfway through at best and just hit a wall for some reason.
Okay.
So, coincidentally, that is one of the ones I have played and beaten. Oh, Phantom Hourglass was the hour. Was
okay.
The other one,
that's the like.
Yeah, coincidentally, two of the weirder ones, but
yeah,
so I was like, now I'm seeing a lot of stuff that I was like, oh yeah, this was a big thing in like Between Worlds, yeah,
because that's what I was like getting at, was that, like, to play them sort of like, I guess, like one way or the other, like playing a Link Between Worlds, like, after myself, like, having played like a lot of A Link to the Past, like, there was like what enhanced the experience for me, just seeing all that little like connective tissue and hearing the old sound effects again and stuff. So I'm like, I guess, curious to see like how your thoughts were, like, from going from Link Between Worlds to like the original.
course, now it's been so long since I played Between Worlds because I played it when it came out and beat it then. But yeah, so certain things I'm like, oh yeah, this seems familiar.
Yeah.
How much of that is just from playing Link's Awakening to death as a kid, and how much of that is like
No, they really did. Like I think
Worlds.
I think even like the first 3 dungeons that you do in a Link Between Worlds is like they're pretty much like almost 1-for-1 recreations, but they like work in the like wall mechanic really well into them. Yeah, that's pretty cool though.
So Dayna, what was your comfort game this week then? Just before we
My
before we
comfort
go.
game this week, I started playing Story of Seasons. I believe Jordan and I deciphered that it was Pioneers of Olive Town. Or wait,
Yeah, can I
Did I just mix two names
read the message that you sent me
no.
at like whatever hour it was, because it
Jordan?
was like a fever dream.
Jordan, I will tell you why after, and you will feel really bad. Does that count for anything?
I think you did tell me why, but it was just the funniest thing to receive, because I think you said it to me at like 11 o'clock at night, and I like woke up in the morning to see it, and I thought you were talking about Elden Ring. It was eldritch.
Sometimes I do not speak English when I send text messages, and we just for the record, everybody in this stream right now speaks Dayna except for you so far, Jordan. So
well, I'm sorry.
You're gonna have
I'm
to
sorry.
catch up.
I speak the kings.
Yeah, I started playing that. I'm not very far into it, but it was a nice little. This is Brendan's Xbox on the floor if anybody's caring. It was a nice little game to hop into, do some farming in a new environment. I'm not very far. I got to figure it out. I have to find a journal because I have like quests and stuff, and I can't find them anywhere. So that's
who's the lucky boy or girl that you're going after.
Nobody yet. I'm like right at the beginning.
You've only
I'm
just
still like
started.
mid tutorial, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing aside from like I'm just living my best life on a farm so far.
So you didn't do what I did when I got into Friends of Middletown again. When I got into Friends of Middletown again for that review last year, I was like, okay, so here's my candidates, and I've decided. It's like 3 days into the actual game, and I've decided.
I've never played a Story of Seasons game, so I don't even know where you go from here. But yeah, they were like, hey, you should go and figure out about a house, and I did that like clicky through I didn't pay attention thing, and now I don't know where I'm supposed to go because I couldn't find
luckily for you,
journal.
because the way that this game is designed is very like classic.
Screw it up.
Well, it's very reminiscent of like classic story, or like Harvest Moon or Story of Seasons, where like you really only have like your farm and the town, and those are your sort of two main areas. So you really can't get lost in this world, because other Story of Seasons, like they'll give you like, here's your farm, here's like the in between area, here's the the one forest, here's the other forest where there's like a lake.
That's fine for me, and I like that. But for me, it was just like they were like, "Hey, you've got to do this, this, and this to build a house," and I was like, "Yeah," and then I was like, "I didn't read any of that."
I think they just want you to like collect some like
no,
wood.
It was I needed to go and talk to somebody because they help you or go to something, but I don't know what the something is. So I guess I'm just gonna walk into every house in the town.
Yeah, go into town, meet everybody.
But there should be there's got to be a journal somewhere. I didn't go back since then because I got really frustrated with it, and then chaos ensued. So
I think that if you go into you don't have a house yet.
No, I'm supposed to be making the house. That's the whole problem. We'll get there. We don't need to figure this out on stream.
Back in my day, you inherited your grandfather's house. I mean,
you always.
Well, I inherited his farm, but I guess the house is
There's
gone.
no house.
There was a chicken coop. I could live there.
I want my grandchild to inherit my farm,
but I don't.
But be sure to gut my house before they get there.
I don't have storage or anything yet, so I'm just like hoarding things. It's a problem. We need to figure this out, people. So much.
Yeah. There really isn't any like.
Are you looking at it right now?
No.
No. If I'm not crazy, that'd be great. Because like
there's no real way to keep track of things. You just sort of have to like do
Pay
it.
Attention. I don't sign up for that.
And I kind of feel like maybe at this point, if you forgot what you were doing.
I already screwed it up at the very beginning, then maybe I should give up on Story of Seasons. I'm not ready for that.
Just start over and pay attention this time.
I feel that's happening a lot. I told you, I'm just going to go into every house. I have lots of stuff. I just need to go in the houses.
there's usually like in almost every or Harvest Moon, there's like, here's the animal house or the shop, here's the blacksmith, here's the carpenter, here's the clothing shop, here's the seed shop, here's the general store. Like, it's all there. You just got to explore a little bit. And while you're doing that, you'll meet all the, hotties and cuties that you want to potentially betroth.
All of them. We're
There you go.
polyamorous in Story of Seasons. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you are, actually. I mean, because this is the second one where they were like, hey,
You do
that's
you.
a thing. We don't have to make these binary choices. You can,
Well, actually, they don't make you
I
make
guess it is
binary
binary
choices, and then they're straight up just like, "Are you a boy or a girl?" I'm like, well, I thought
Yeah,
you were
that
being really
bothered me.
progressive. Like they
I
gave you all
thought
these
so.
choices, it wasn't labeled, and then they just straight up were like,
Yeah.
"So what are
that
you?"
bothered me a lot too. I was like, why? You were right there at the
You were
finish
doing
line
so
and you
good.
tripped over your own feet.
Yeah. Dang. Anyway.
Even Pokemon's gotten past that particular hang up. But
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Story of Seasons.
Oh, one other thing before we go, I do want to mention that I've been watching the LOL Canada that you
Yeah?
took a look at earlier. So good.
Yeah.
I've
it's
just been like,
good.
I heard it was good,
but not
I've
because
seen-
they're funny.
yeah, like
It's
it's
ridiculous.
It's because I know half the people on it, like through
Mhm.
the things they've been, like Colin Walker, obviously.
Yeah.
Like Tom Green, even like
Yeah.
I'm surprised how much I remember about Tom Green from the
Right.
90s.
Because
It's coming
the
up to the
jokes are
surface.
still the same.
I've seen
these-
a lot of clips on TikTok of Tom Green just being like, "Would you like this delicious cheese?"
Yes, that
Grilled
is a
cheese
whole
cheese
thing.
sandwiches.
is very
Sandwich.
good.
But then,
Cheese
yeah,
sandwich.
Colin Walker then turns it around on him. Like Colin Walker is just an assassin in there. Like he's just
Mhm.
Oh,
the inner
yeah.
workings that you see on display are fantastic.
Yeah, it was a good
He's always been like so good. Like he probably was one of the highlights of Whose Line Is It Anyway?
I'm going to
Oh,
see
absolutely.
here in St. Catharines. It's the Whose Line Is It Anyway live thing.
Oh, are
coming
you?
up.
Nice.
Yeah, I got
I've
tickets.
seen it a bunch of times actually. Yeah, it's really good.
The live one. Oh, cool. I'm
Yeah.
trying to remember who's going to be here. I don't think Colin Mockery is one of them.
He's never
Yeah.
been before. It's
Yeah.
usually Ryan, Greg Proops. Sometimes it's supposed to be Chip, who
Yeah,
appeared
Oh, Chip is
I
sometimes.
good.
think that's
yeah.
right.
But usually he's not there when they come to my town. And then there's another guy who I don't believe has ever been on the shows except for maybe more recently on the CW stuff.
Mhm.
I'm gonna find who's
Wayne
on
Brady's
it this
busy.
time.
But they are a crack up live. So
yeah, I
it's-
got
you'll
tickets
enjoy
for
that.
my brother, my sister-in-law, and my partner for June. So that'll be good. It's Ryan Stiles, Greg Proops.
Proops, yeah.
It looks like Proops. Joel Murray is one of them.
Oh, that's the one who's barely been on the TV.
Yeah,
version,
but I've seen
been
him
touring
on
them for
other
years.
Jeff B. Davis, I believe. But Joel Murray I've seen from like sitcoms and stuff. So I'm excited. It'll be fun. It's on the weekend of Niagara Falls Comic Con. So I'm gonna go straight from Comic Con to that because the Comic Con ends at 5 that day. Busy day. Busy weekend.
Fun stuff.
Busy day.
Yeah, no,
before we
it's a crack up.
do finish up
Yeah.
for anybody that's watching or joins later, David is actually going to hop on stream after we leave, and he'll be streaming some Gran Turismo 7.
Oh,
Is that
Nice.
comes out tomorrow, I believe.
yes, it does.
Check
I
out
am
the
actually very
review.
curious about
didn't
that.
run
I
it.
don't really
It's
love
pretty.
driving games, but like I
It's
I
fun.
had GT 1 and 2 for PlayStation, and it's pretty much just to show off how good they looked at the time. They look like garbage now.
Well,
By comparison.
now it looks good again. We've got a new one.
now
We're
I'm
good.
like, I kind of want to play GT7, like just to see how far it pushes the PS5, right? Like,
It looks good. It really, really does.
Yeah.
So give it a watch after we
So,
hop off. Just like
Programming
leave the
note.
channel on. Okay. Your turn.
all right. Well, yeah, I think that's gonna do it for us this week. If you'd like to read more on these topics and more, you can find full coverage at cgmagonline.com. Be sure to follow us on all the socials. Just search CGMag and you'll find us. If you have any questions or comments, please send them to podcast@cgmagonline.com and we'll address them on the air.
Mhm.
Or not if you don't want to. I guess that's a thing too. If you don't,
Yeah, that's
No,
fair. Yeah.
unacceptable.
yeah.
Oh,
if you have any
I
feedback
nailed that.
or unacceptable, Jordan, where can people find you?
I sometimes I draw stuff on Instagram, and sometimes I do stuff on TikTok and YouTube.
Sometimes.
You can, yeah. I'm officially like done with Twitter. I'm keeping it just to like have it, but I'm not using it anymore. Shit.
That's for the best.
Yeah, so I mean, if you wanna follow me there too, I don't care. It's Ninja X Jordan, and you can find me on YouTube at Ninja Jordan Reviews.
And Dayna.
I am on some things at the Dayna Eileen. So TheDaynaEileen. That's, I don't know, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch. I don't think there's a the in my Twitch. Anyway, moving on.
Either way. Brendan.
You can find me at Ps3 on pretty much everything.
FRYE, guys.
Yeah, I should
Just
mention
saying.
that. It's BFRYE, just in case you need to find it. 26.
Because you
And,
must find it.
And you can catch me on Twitter at Hugathy, overshot, or on Twitch at Guild2Taps. That's going to do it for us for this week. Remember, if you want to help out the situation in Ukraine, contact your local Ukrainian church or community center, or there's usually a foundation of some kind, and they should have details. Yeah, catch you next week. Thanks for tuning in.